Good evening, one and all. Welcome back to the Hotspur Hood. Thank you for joining us. Whether you're watching live or on a recording, make sure you sub to the channel wherever you are in the world. We get lots of fans on different time zones, so welcome. Eugene, talking of different time zones, what is the time there? And welcome, my man.
It's 3:14 a.m. here in Malaysia.
Wow. Wow, that's
I haven't done a show like this in such a long time, guys. Remember? I hop on the shows all the time at this time. And with your intro, right, gave me time to link it to my channel, so it's playing on my channel too at the same time now.
A couple of Red Bulls.
No. Just on time. Just
about.
How you doing, my man?
Yeah, I'm good, mate. Thanks for having me on. Hope you're doing well.
What went down on Savas?
Oh, just not much. We were just talking about everything that was going on, about all the stuff, really, about the whole...
all the amazing transfers just going through at Spurs right now.
It's incredible, isn't it? Today, there's been so much news, but no news in the same sentence. I mean, like, in the sense that we've not one thing we talk about this football club is anything football related anymore, is it? Because it's just an absolute circus.
Circus is the perfect word. Stel, how you feeling, my man?
Yeah, good, Doug. I mean, we'll talk about it earlier. I've been in contact with a journalist and the Spurs Supporters Trust the past couple of days. I made an announcement this morning. Some fans are really happy with it. Some fans have lost their minds over it. Some fans are just, do you know what? Let's just see how it goes. So mixed views, mixed response. I'm not fussed what anyone's opinion is on it, about what I've said, because for me, I do what I think is best, and I've been protesting for years, and I'll carry on. I think it will get somewhere eventually, but I also appreciate everyone else's views and opinions on it. I'm happy to debate it. But yeah, Tottenham, nothing about players, nothing about the first game of the season, nothing about tactics, nothing about the deadwood we haven't sold. I mean, bring it on. Looking forward to next week. Brentford should be a cracker.
12 days?
A couple of weeks, Bring it on.
12 days? Unbelievable.
Days.
Danny, you're on here for the first time, but you've been in and around YouTube for a while. Those who haven't seen Dan, you probably catch him on Time Added On. We haven't got Jay from Time Added On this week. Might get him in the future. That was fun. Last Tuesday. So, Dan, how you doing, mate?
I'm all right, mate. I think it's just same as every Spurs supporter, isn't it? We just got is there anything actually of football going on at Tottenham?
So, we are on the road.
Anymore.
We're on the road to 3K subscribers. We're well on the road. We've been getting loads of subscribers recently, so please make sure you subscribe. All the boys here, other than Dan, have got a YouTube channel of their own. But talking to Dan, he's probably going to get one up and running in the next few weeks. So Stelios, Tottenham Away, Perchy TV, Spurs U Asian. Make sure you give everyone a Twitter follow, sub to their channel if you haven't already done so. Right. Big up to those in the chat. We've got 47 people. We've got 47 people watching. Lots of regulars. Tony Rodriguez, Eugene. Some of the chat from earlier gets deleted for some reason before we go live. So we got a few in. Scotty M, Full Ball, Louis K, Rob Belcher. Big up, my friend. Loads. Dexter, Lily White Lane, Robbie. Big up, my friend. Young streamer. How you doing, my man? Right. First of all, something that we probably may not have been expecting as a first topic. We're going to get onto Spurs straight after. But first of all, Dan, Women's World Cup's happening. I want to touch on it briefly. England beat China 6-1. It was the first game I sort of watched. I was in and out of watching it. What do you make? I'm not going to ask you about the game. What do you make of the women's footballers asking to be paid the same as men debate? Because I've seen it a lot. Over the last few weeks. A lot today trending.
No chance.
What do you make of that?
No chance. Why should they? I mean, at the end of the day, whether we like it or not, football is a business, except most normal clubs are run sort of like 50-50, where Spurs, we're 99% business, 1% football. Women don't rake in the crowds like we do, and like men do. And if they do, it's only because they're paying £10 a bloody ticket to go and watch it. So until women start raking in the same sort of money into a stadium that men do, then why should they get paid the same men do? Because if they do, then they'll be out of business in 5 minutes. It just makes no sense. So no, I don't think they should be paid the same, not until they start earning the same money in the business.
Still, You've been coaching over the years. Did you coach? Was it boys and girls, or just boys? And would you make it a whole debate?
No, boys and girls. I've got I actually got one girl scouted into Spurs ladies and one into Arsenal ladies. One of them has actually just come back to me as a coach now. So at youth level, boys and girls, they kind of mix it now until they get to like 13. Then it's best to separate. But look, I agree with Dan. You got to justify the pay. Football's, I think, the most highly watched sport in the world, I believe. So the attendance, the money spent on merch and beverage and food and match day tickets, and the money, the eyes to sell advertising and marketing and sponsorships, it's there. It funds the wages. Whereas I think if as many women were into women's football as men are into men's football, they would get paid more than the men's game, because there's more women on the planet. There's 52% of women in the world. Yeah, whether it happens or not is a different story, but there's 52% of the planet is women. So if they all followed the women's game, there'd be more money in it, because businesses would say, look, there's a massive amount of people that watch the sport. Whereas I would say more women watch the men's game, arguably. I don't know what the numbers are, but my point is, if every woman watched women's football, it would be the biggest earning salary for footballers, more than men. But that's not the case. Maybe in 20, 30 years' time we get there. But right now, you can't justify the same salary. You can't. I don't think so.
Mate, it'll never get there either, because, look, I'm just a realist. Women will never, ever get close to what men can do in football. When the best football team in America, which were like the American women's football team, which, if I remember right, was meant to be rated the best women's team in the world. Is that right? They went and got beaten.
I think they've won the most World Cups. It's between them and Germany.
Yeah, and then that team that went and won that got beaten 6 or 7-0 or even 9-0 by a bunch of 12-year-old boys.
But Dan, it's not. Yeah, but isn't it a case that it's not about whether women's football will be better than men's? It's whether they will get people. No. Hear my point. Isn't it more a case of whether more people will want to just watch the women's game? More supporters will come to it, because
they've got to be willing to pay for the quality. It's no different to going to buy clothes. You're going to Primark, you'll get yourself a nice £9 pair of jeans. You're going to Hugo Boss, you're paying £90, £100 for a pair of quality. With women, you will just never get the same quality that you get.
Spurs are shit. Everyone's been paying for 4 years.
You don't have to tell me that one. I know that one. But
so is it about quality of football? Or is it just you want to be part of something?
I totally get where you're coming from. And the more that do watch it, and if they're willing to pay more for it, it will go up. But it will never, ever, ever get close to the men's side. I mean, you look at any women's sport. Women can't touch men on sport. They can't do it. It's a physical thing. It's not because it's a sexist thing or nothing. Physically, men are better built than women for sport. Whether it's tennis.
I think gymnastics, women, they match the men, don't they? Gymnastics.
I can't say I watch much gymnastics, so I'll have to take your word on that one, yeah? But even on tennis... To be fair, the best woman in tennis even admitted she could not even touch a man in the top 30 at tennis. If it comes to something like snooker or pool or something, then yeah, because that's not a physical sport. But anything that's got anything to do with physical, men are always going to have the advantage on that aspect because they are physically better built for it.
I think biology dictates it. I see what you're saying, Stel. I see what you're saying as well. But
Tommy, I see the point on ability. Yeah, but I see the point on ability. But in terms of a spectacle, if suddenly, like, let's say for example, suddenly loads and loads and loads of women say, do you know what? We're just going to support the game. We're just going to watch it and support it. We want to be part of a community that's created. Then suddenly the money piles in.
But still, I think.
Go on, Perch.
Oh no, I was just going to say the key one here is supply and demand. If there's a demand for women's football, the price of it goes up. So if what you're saying, if millions and millions of women go and watch women's football, and pack out stadiums, they'll be playing in then bigger stadiums, and then they'll be charging more money. It's a simple supply and demand thing. People pay money to go and watch men's football because it's at a different level at the moment. If women's football gets to that level, people will pay that money. It's just a simple supply and demand. No. I'm not saying it will.
Quality.
No, Dan, you missed my point. I'm saying if it ever did. I'm not saying it will, because I think that the football it's like this at the moment. But my point is there's women's sports that the women do better than men do for whatever reason. There's just some other sports that do, but they're more expensive to go and watch because they're better at it. It's just supply and demand. It's as simple as that.
You pay for quality, don't you? At the end of the day,
yeah, of course.
If we're going to be realistic,
it's all about the economics of things. Games,
exactly.
Supply of demand, right? If all of a sudden, right, the women's game, right, turns into some kind of marketing thing that boomed, then maybe they will be at par when you come to say about the pace. But I don't think it'll be anytime soon. Like you said, it's a very big if, right? Very, very big if. But if it does happen, like Stel says, maybe in 50 years' time, right? Maybe the men all can't play football anymore. Their legs are all chopped off. So then you just have to watch women's football.
I think the quality will always. It's clear that the biology dictates that the quality will always be better in the men's game.
Of course it does.
You know what?
But the difference is because of the quality, men and women will watch men's football. I think predominantly it will be women that watch women's football. So I think because it's a better quality, you're going to watch. Most people are going to watch the quality.
But Tommy, it's not. It's not necessarily quality. My point being is it's not necessarily quality. Let's be honest. I think Stel made a great point. People pack out White Hart Lane every single season, and we got crap players. But the point here is it's a supply and demand. It's a key point.
Well, of course.
If nobody went to Tottenham anymore, but then everyone went and watched the women's game and packed out the stadium every single time, those prices will start going higher because there's a more of a supply than there is demand. It's just simple as that.
The women in America. One sport where women get paid roughly the same as men. And what is it? UFC.
In America,
UFC
the women
is the only one.
Well, there's one. In America, the women's national team are like world champions. Like they're renowned as being okay. They get paid more than the men. The national team women get paid more than the men.
Because the men hardly pay it. But
I think
then they go and get beaten 9-0 by the under-12s.
Do you know what? I honestly think
there's more of a spectacle for the women's game in America. It just is. More people turn up. That's why.
Football in general, it's changing now. In the United States, it's seen as a kids' sport. It's seen as a kids' sport. That's what the youngsters play, and then they go to one of the franchise sports at college or something. They very rarely stick with them. It's changing now. Look at the American first team, men's squad, unbelievable. Even Canada producing some great players in North America. So things are changing. I think the quality is definitely going to improve in the women's game. The Premier League, I think a lot of their games are shown when the men's aren't, especially on international breaks. But the quality does make a difference because both men and women will watch the men's sport. And I think even if women's sport gets anywhere close to men's, it will be just the majority. It would just be women watching it. But fair play. It's growing. It's a growing sport. Did anyone watch the game today? I watched a little bit. of it. 6-1's a bit ridiculous. It'll probably come alive towards the end of the World Cup. But I can see why there's a market.
I do think there is one position though in football where women definitely do struggle, and that is a goalkeeper. I mean, if we're going to be honest,
when you see the keepers coming out, it is usually bad when they're coming out to punch the ball and stuff.
That is, I've seen some very skillful women play football. I won't deny it, but women goalkeepers are shocking, and that's all there is to it.
You know what? I'm actually convinced now that I've got some kind of godlike status, because whenever I speak or I say something, it's like, we got to jump on it. Literally, Tommy, honestly, today's been phenomenal. You asked the question. I never told you what to ask. You asked the question, and I made a simple point that if enough women in the world end up watching the women's game, just by the numbers, because there's more women than men, there will be more money there, right? And there's people in the comments, John Joe.
More money than men. The thing I think is there'll be more money in it, but I don't think there'll ever be more money than men because of the girls.
Yeah, I think that's what he's trying to say. There will be more money in the sport, but it will
definitely
never ever touch the men's sport.
Well, of course it will. Well, no, in terms of a spectacle, no. In terms of, sorry, were we talking about salary, Tommy, or were we talking about spectacle?
Well,
the question Tommy said at the start was, should women be paid the same as men? Was the question.
All right. Okay. Yeah. So, all right. So my answer is yes. So, okay. Yeah, I wasn't point with it. So my answer was yes. If enough people end up watching it. Right now, no, because not enough people watch it. Where's the demand? Which goes back to what Perch said.
But there are a lot of national women footballers. We mentioned the US. A lot of.
You got people in the comments saying to me, "I'm making something out of nothing." I'm answering your question.
Yeah. it's an opinion. I mean, look what they had to do at Wembley.
I've got some rhetorical questions tonight, and one of them wasn't on the women's side of things. So it's about to get a little bit more intense. And it starts with this. It starts with this.
Just call me
BS
Jesus.
time, baby. BS time. We're not linked with a great deal of players this week. We haven't told anyone either. First thoughts when you heard these rumours. I'll start with you this time, Eugene. Mbappe to Spurs. Jay-Z, new owner. Gvardiol to Spurs, going to reject Man City. He's going to sign for Spurs. That's our centre back. What do you make of these? What do you make of these stories, Eugene?
Bullshit. Jay-Z, can he play defense? Gvardiol? No way. Nah. Come on, guys. Being a Spurs fan for so long, we know all this is BS, right? Somehow or another, we're linked to Mbappe, Gvardiol. We've been linked to Gvardiol since 2022, if I'm not mistaken. Right, his name has been thrown around there. So, come on, guys. No. We can't even get Ashley Phillips across the line. Why are we looking at Mbappe?
Exactly. We can't even put together a little 3 million, 5 million deal with Blackburn.
Do you know what's funny? Out of the three things, you know that Jay-Z is the most realistic one out there, isn't it? That's the level of it. You know, Jay-Z buying the club is more realistic than us signing Mbappe and Gvardiol. That says it all, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Perchy, is it something in that, Jay-Z? Something in Beyonce? That stadium? Do you think that's why we've got these stories?
It's not. What it is because I've read a lot about this. It's what it is a lot of consortiums. It's probably got nothing to do with him. What a lot of things. I remember with all the Chelsea stuff is remember when Chelsea and the whole Lewis Hamilton saga came along. You know, like Lewis Hamilton's going to buy Chelsea. Well, no, he was part of a massive consortium. What a lot of these consortiums do is they offer a percentage to like a famous face to get it in the press. So it's majority rubbish, but a lot of them will go, we'll give you a couple of percent in it, but from this. But it means what we can do is we can sell it to the press saying that Jay-Z is buying Tottenham. Well, it's not. He's part of a massive consortium. The guy hasn't got enough money himself to buy us anyway. So that's what it is, in my opinion. It's nothing big, nothing to buy out.
Yeah, unless he can get a couple of his billionaire friends together, right?
It'll be he's the poster boy of a massive consortium.
Yeah. Something like Todd Bowley.
That's what it'll probably be. That's what it'll probably be. But the thing is, the money that Tottenham are cost, as a football club, we're barely worth 1.5 billion. But as an overall business and everything, we're worth over 5 billion.
Yeah.
For the money that stadium rakes in and everything that comes with it on the business side that has totally crashed our football side, basically. That is why we are worth so much money. That is why we have the third biggest income in sport. And we also have the bigger income than Man United and Liverpool. It's all down to that stadium and the business side. And it has totally destroyed the football side.
First thoughts, Stel. These rumours all didn't come out on the same day. I think, I think we're trying to fill in the cracks with these stories. But Mbappe, Gvardiol, Jay-Z, what do you make of all of it?
I didn't even read it, talk about it. Like honestly, it was like saw it. That's it. I didn't do one stream or show talking about Gvardiol, Mbappe. Jay-Z, we put his face up as a joke and then took it off the screen. I had no conversation on it. I'm like, Tommy, I'm so drained, so just fed up of the 272 different fan opinions the 97 different answers to our problems, that I'm just at a point now where any news, like if we announce tomorrow we signed a centre back, I don't think I'll be excited. I actually don't think I will be excited. I'm just numb now.
We might sign a centre back. It's going to be we're going to trigger the minimum release fee of Ashley Phillips, so we will probably sign a centre back.
Listen, whatever happens to this club, it happens. I'm just going to focus on doubling down on protesting and causing PR damage where I can. Not that I will have as an individual loads of impact, but I'm bored of it, man. You know, like you go through like that stage of like anger, frustration, and then it's like depression, and then it's a bit of a fight back, and then you become numb to it, and then you just get to a place where I'm just bored of it now.
Oh, I'm in that place. It's great.
Yeah,
I know what happens next. Yeah, it is what it is, man. Yeah, Mbappe, Jay-Z, Guardiola. I hope all of them come to Spurs. Sounds great. Sounds brilliant.
But you know, Stel, I just want to put this forward, Stel, just want to put this forward for 1 second. You know, Dan mentioned the worth of the football club. You know, we're worth around 5 billion. You're fundamental in these protests, Stel. You're a regular, you're consistent with your protests in person and on Tottenham Away channel. How much do you reckon it'll take? The bid for Levy to sell, how much do you think?
I don't think they want to sell unless an outrageous bid comes in.
Yeah, what could they just simply not refuse, do you reckon? 6, 7?
8, 9 billion. I don't see how you can refuse. I don't see how. That's crazy, man.
Yeah. Especially with the Formula 1 track coming in and everything now, and everything else and that. It's the amount of income that comes with Spurs on the business.
I don't even think 5 or 6 mil doesn't even get you at the table at the moment. I genuinely think that now.
I agree.
I don't even get you at the table.
Look at land is real estate, and every part of that land, what you do with it is a money maker if you do it right. Now, if you use that as a thought process and you look at the NFL changing room, it's massive. That is a humongous piece of land they've given up, real estate, they've given up for you don't need an NFL change room as big as that. Why have they done that? That says to me, you don't give up that much space in a stadium for 2 games a season. I think at some point we will launch an NFL franchise. The Hotspur Hurricanes, the Tottenham Tornadoes.
I agree.
And absolutely bang on.
Yep.
Yeah, and at that point, the money from NFL is more than Premier League and football. Then we become a £10 billion company, and it's
I've said this. It's one of the dreams that they wanted with the NFL.
Then everyone will realise what we're doing. Yeah, I think
the other thing that adds the price. Look where we are. We're in London. Straight away, just the turf in London is worth 10 times more than it is up north. Go and buy a house in mid-London. Go and
the
buy
London
a house
Warriors.
in the middle of Manchester.
The London Warriors, the London, Falcons.
They'll probably call it the London Hotspurs or something like that. Just something. It's like, come on.
Like Tottenham Tornadoes.
Oh my, that's terrible.
No, they wouldn't call it Tottenham. No, it wouldn't be called Tottenham. It'd be London something.
The Ninja Turtle Warriors to celebrate our new.
It's a great film, by the way. I took the kids to see.
We call the London Golden Cockerel. Yeah,
the London Golden.
The Golden Cockerels. Yeah, exactly.
I think it's inevitable. It was absolutely inevitable. I didn't see us getting the concerts and the boxing fights that we did, but I think down the road.
I knew we were going to get the concerts.
Tommy, explain to me how you give up that much real estate in a building for 2 games a year. How do you justify that? Unless they use that room for something else during the rest of the season, I don't know. But
still, we saw how big it was in the document, in the Amazon documentary, because obviously they had to use it for COVID.
That is Tottenham Hotspur, we call Real Estate PLC's land bank.
Yeah, we are.
It's just a land bank.
It's like I said,
TJ Warren, Arsenal fan, mate. We're gonna win. We ain't gonna win the league, but we might win a Super Bowl. So
London losers.
Arsenal gonna win the league. We might win a Super Bowl.
I put it out there as well. In the next 5 to 10 years, we'll host like WrestleMania or something like that. Something mental like that. It'll be the
NFL final. The NFL final.
The NFL, the Super Bowl final.
You would guarantee, the Super Bowl. I guarantee the Super Bowl.
It is a better stadium than Wembley. It's just Wembley is a bit bigger. That's all it is. I mean,
I think
in football, we've probably got the most solid stadium out there.
Yeah, football nearly got turned into a franchise.
Tommy, it's already a franchise. It's already a franchise.
Back in, it's franchise. Football's turned into a franchise.
Tommy, that ship sailed. It's already a franchise sport. There's a reason why we go to America and all this lot. It's already a franchise sport.
Yep.
That ship's long gone. We're a massive franchise now. We're enormous.
We're a franchise sport, but it's not. The stipulations aren't in place. Obviously, the franchise foot, we have draft roster and stuff like that. And
no, it's not like that. But I'm on about just Tottenham now.
As of course, yeah. I'm talking about football.
We
in
are
general.
a massive franchise.
Football in general. Before we were talking about ESL, we've got loads of protests. I reckon it's going to be rejigged into some sort of European league throughout the world. Do you know what? Saudi Arabia has helped us to that extent. Because I think Saudi Arabia may calm that down a little bit because the landscape of football's changed now. With Saudi Arabia's completely changed with the quality of players that Saudi Arabia they're bringing in Saudi Arabia. So that might change the landscape a little bit.
No.
Right. Yeah. Anything? Did anybody else hear these Gvardiol to Spurs rumours? Because I haven't made it up. People have been talking about this. It has been trending. You know, the last couple of days we could nick Gvardiol off Man City. Crazy talk. Absolutely crazy talk.
Tommy, even if it was true, right? Let's say it's true. Why the hell would he come to us?
There you go.
Exactly.
I mean, that's it, isn't it?
We're so far down the list.
I think he go anywhere he wants. Oh yeah, go on. I'll have a bit of Tottenham. 3-year deal. Sounds good.
Yeah.
The annoying
I mean, in terms of Mbappe, there's more chance of Gary Glitter performing up top than there is, Mbappe.
Jeez.
And then you got Beyonce singing at the stadium. That's why we're linked with Jay-Z shares or whatever. And Gvardiol to Spurs, we're gonna pay £100 million, and we're gonna attract him from treble winners who are going to offer 3 times the wages we are. It's crazy. It's do you know what? It's shockingly weak journalism.
There's not.
I mean, even Spurs fans. We've got a lot of moronic Spurs fans. Surely they can see through this.
But Tommy, there's not even one thing that we have that's better than Man City right now. Not one.
Nothing.
Like, I don't think I can think of one positive.
Underdogs.
Maybe the only one is London. I mean that literally is the only thing you're clinging at, aren't you? If people
London
are
and
like
that stadium, that is it.
But
that stadium
that is so
Tottenham
far down the list,
big
isn't it?
name.
Let's be honest, Man City's not got a terrible stadium. I've been there a few times. It ain't that bad.
It don't touch ours within 1 million miles.
Yeah, but I know, but let's be frank and honest. No players going at us because of the stadium. I don't buy it.
With what we've got, some of the best training facilities on the planet, one of the best stadiums in football, if not the best, the biggest income in the Premier League, and third biggest income in sport. We should literally just be able to go out there and do as we please. We could have all the pull if we wanted, but the way Levy does it, we're never going to get it. And until he's willing to put the money into the club that he does in the business side, we're only ever going to stay big because we got a big business, not because of the football club.
Agreed.
And that's just the way it's going to stay.
Do you know what? The analogy I always make with it, and I make it all the time, is football used to be the wheel. No, not anymore. Mm-hmm. Tottenham Hotspur's a spoke on the wheel. That's what we are. They don't need the football anymore. They don't need us anymore.
If Tottenham Hotspur Football Club just evaporated and disappeared, they'd lose money, but they'd still be raking in plenty of
get someone else in that stadium,
the stadium and everything. This is why, even with 2,000 supporters there doing a protest, it's really not going to make a difference, no matter how much you want it to, because we're not fighting against football here. We're fighting against a multi-billion universal company. Yeah. And if none of us did decide to turn up, all the actual supporters, there'd be people from all over the world, South Korea, flying all over like they do to see Son, and there'd be families. It's a day out in London now. The supporters
that's the problem, isn't it?
They don't need us. That's the thing. We could have 10,000 stand there, and they'd still tell us where to stick it, basically, because they can do what they bloody want.
Mate, they can do what they want,
and they do.
There's only so much. Why did the furlough get turned around? Because fans took a stance. So they don't do what they want. They do listen to fans. Why did the Super League get stopped? Because fans said, no, we're not buying it. So they don't do what they want. We tell them what to do, but only when we unite. The problem at Spurs is we aren't united on doing something about it. If we were, they would definitely they would definitely change direction. But the problem that's hurting us at the moment is people have politicized this so much. You've got the staunch Enoch out, the staunch Enoch in, the middle ground that's I'm leaning this way, I'm leaning that way. I want this message. I want that campaign. But what does this mean? I don't understand what the word change means. We cannot, as a fan base, agree. You look at the Man United fans, all of them, Glazers out. They win the Carabao Cup. They're chanting Glazers out. They're going to sell the club now. They're going to sell it. It does work. It does work. The problem is we don't unite behind anything.
But the Glazers still haven't been sold yet, though, because the price hasn't been met. And that's the key bit I want to make on this. If the price is met, I know what you said.
But they're in the cycle, Perchy. They're in the cycle.
They may be, but the Glazers aren't going to sell because the fans are protesting again. They'll sell when the right price is there. If someone came over and said, "Oh, we're selling because they're selling because you've given us the price we want." It's the same with us, I think.
But why buyers coming to the market, Perch? Why buyers coming to the market?
Because Man United Football Club. Why not?
They never came before the protests. Where were they before the protests?
Well,
there was no one trying to buy.
How? Yeah, but when you know something's for sale, then you go and try and buy it, don't you?
See, what I'm saying is, since they've properly protested, they've been doing it for like 3-4 years. Now people are saying, do you know what? We'll have a look at it.
Mm-hmm.
Man United fans were protesting a couple of weeks back because they don't like the home shirt. They got 15,000 people to protest about the design of the home shirt, Man United. We can't.
But Tommy, they're protesting against a football club now. We've so far gone that now. Like we're now protesting against everything. They look back and go, we're packing out NFL games, boxing matches, everything. But we're packing out everything. Do you know what I mean? Like we're at a stage. We're fighting a battle now.
If every Spurs supporter stops going,
the fans haven't united.
It doesn't matter. The fans have got no say in this because they could. Every Spurs fan could stop going, and they'd still fill up that bloody stadium.
That's what I mean.
No one in there probably support Tottenham. I think this is the bit you're missing. We're past the football, fighting the football.
Dan, hold on,
we are fighting a multi-billion universal company now on a business that does not need the football club to keep going on and bringing in the money, whereas Manchester United do.
Right, I disagree. If that stadium's empty, the Premier League aren't going to want Spurs. Empty stadium, no atmosphere.
You totally missed what I just said. It won't be empty because you'll have people from all over the planet coming to bloody visit it.
Right, so then, what? People are going to fly in 62,000 people just to watch a game against Burnley.
They'll fill that stadium up all day long. All day long.
We're not going to get this massive wave of people flying in on a Saturday to watch Spurs. We'll get some, but not this massive wave. I think that's a bit far fetched. The reality is protesting isn't just done outside; it's done inside. All the Levy out chants that happened inside, picked up by Sky Sports. That's because the protests were in there instigating it. And also, can I say, if you boycott going, that is a form of protest. That is a form of demonstration.
Of course.
So it's all of these things. It's not. It's like all of this is protesting.
I totally agree.
I agree with you on that point.
I just hate the protesters getting told what you're doing is a waste of time all the time. When people saying it do nothing. It's like
no. I stand.
Not you, Perchy. You boycott. I know you boycott. I know you.
I don't put money into it. And I always say, and everyone knows, I will always say, big up to you guys protesting. Respect every single one of you that does it. I say it every single time on streams when people are trying to twist what I say and stuff. I go, oh, no. I say every single time. Phil Peakin are due to that. I always say, because I chat to him a lot about it. Fair play for doing it. I respect every single one of you. Good mates of mine. A lot of you are. All of you are, in a sense. I chat to all of you. But the bit I will always stand by is that whether people you're fighting it, if the stadium's packed out, we're getting to a stage where I agree with what you're saying, by the way, Stel. I do agree. Like, if everyone doesn't turn up to a game and stand, I said all along, wouldn't it be lovely against Man United? Nobody turns up, stands outside and protests. But you know as well as I do, that won't happen.
Perchy. Right, let me say this to you guys. I got a phone call from a journalist 3 days ago. Give me the thumbs up on something that was going to happen. And I said, right, why are you contacting me? And it's because they know I'm quite active with the whole YouTube and the protest. Okay. Then I got a call from the trust and they pretty much confirmed what the journalist said to me. So to me, there's people working here together. Cool. They asked me, look, can you just get on board with it? Can you promote? I said, but I need to know more. I can't share with you everything that they said because I'm going to break their confidentiality. But what I will say is this. If things don't change from the first call of action, if you look at what the trust have said, it says first call of action. That means there's a second and third and fourth things in place.
Yeah.
I'm just letting you know. If we get to that stage, there will be a call to begin to do the kinds of things that you've suggested, Perchy.
No, listen.
And
if it happens,
but if we, if we as a fan base, I'm 100% with you and Dan. I think the best thing is just boycott the whole thing. Yeah. Don't go in that shop. Empty. I'm on board with you guys. I totally agree. But the problem we've got, we all know it's not going to happen. So, right, if we know it's not going to happen and we know that's what's needed, what's the alternative? For me, there's only two ways we're going to bring about change. One, you hurt their pockets, boycott the shop, boycott the stadium. Yep. Well, we're not making that happen. So the next option is PR damage. How do we damage the reputation? Mass protest, mass demonstration. And hopefully that, if it grows big enough, can then become a walkout. Will it happen? I don't know. But I just can't sit there and not do anything. Like I said to you guys earlier, guys. Yeah, like I know you're not attacking me in that. I know we're just having a good chat. I get it. But I'm just at a point now where I'm so fed up that all I've got left is meeting my mates on a match day and kicking off. That's all I've got left. It's quite sad. It's sad.
The biggest screw up with it is I would say Tottenham are the least powerful fans in football because our owners not just that.
I agree.
Even if we all work together, we still wouldn't be able to have the same effect to the company that owns the club that Arsenal have. We still wouldn't be able to have the same effect to the owners of our club that Chelsea could do, that Man U could do, that Man City could do, that Liverpool could do, because our main income is not football. The main income of Tottenham is on the other side, on the business side. Yeah, the football side would damage them, no two ways about it. But they'd be able to sweat that out. Whereas you go and do that at Arsenal like they did, that damaged them in a bad way. If Chelsea went and done it, that would damage them in a bad way with the income because they have no income off the other side, really.
Tommy, can you do me a favour, right? Can you just share this screen? Because I don't think too many fans know this, right? These are the revenue streams of Spurs. Okay.
I thought you booed me out then.
Wait, sorry, no. I was trying to get Eugene back.
Sorry, guys. Internet connection.
Click the screen. Right.
Yeah.
Right. Last season, our biggest money came from commercial activities, which is food and beverage, merchandise, and anything non-related to TV, media, and match receipts. But the next two biggest ones are the TV and the match receipts. So you're right. If people stop going, that's £100 million wiped off. That they're going to feel that. If people stop watching Spurs, that's even bigger. So,
but it's not going to damage them like it would Arsenal or Chelsea because we've got too much income from the other side that overlaps that. That is not our main income at Tottenham.
No, dude, hold on. It will damage us. I'll tell you why. Because these are the revenue streams. Fact. If they lose half of this, they now can't pay the wage bill, which is 50% of turnover, roughly 50%. If you can't pay the wage bill, you've got to get rid of your best players. Now you're in a relegation battle.
But once you get relegated, pay it. I'm just saying it wouldn't damage. I'll explain it. Yeah. It would not damage them to the same extent as if the Arsenal fans, Man U fans, Chelsea fans, and all that, because we have too much income off the other side that can cover their arse on that side.
What's the other side?
It wouldn't.
What do you mean the other side? What's that?
The business side. With all the events we have there.
No, the commercial side. But the figures were.
That's on the list.
If you added it all up together, more money comes into the club from the other side than it does the football side. Yeah, that's just the football revenue. Now bring up the revenue of what it brings in for the Joshua fights, for what it brings in for Beyonce, for NFL, for the Formula One track ticket.
So you're guessing because
it would hurt them, yes.
No, but Dan, hold on. We don't know what that is because that won't get recorded until next year's account. So we don't actually know what that is. We don't know.
That'll come in next year's financials.
It's going to be significant.
The point
we can all agree it's going to be significant. It's going to be a significant amount of money.
I don't think it'll be more than the TV revenue. I think the TV revenue in the commercial will always be bigger.
Guys, you must understand. Hold on. Why do people think that we make so much money when we host the concert? Number one, when we host the concert, right? Listen, we rent the stadium out to the organizers. Number one, we don't hold the concert itself, right? Tottenham Hotspur doesn't bring Beyonce. Listen, Tottenham Hotspur doesn't bring Beyonce to the stadium to sing. An organizer, a media organizer, will bring Beyonce to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium to sing. What the media organizer does is they will rent the stadium from Spurs. Then after that,
we'll make money on food and drink, Eugene. We'll make a company.
Yeah, we get
a percentage on all the tickets as well.
Hold on. You make money out of food and drinks, right? 1 million. That is gross. After that, what is the net profit from the food and drinks?
We don't know what we make because it's not registered yet. We don't know.
That's why we don't know. But it's not into the hundreds of millions while hosting a boxing match, while hosting an NFL match, while hosting a concert. We don't get hundreds of millions together.
We don't together.
No, we don't get. I don't
sold. Every ticket that gets sold at the boxing, every ticket that gets sold Beyonce, Tottenham gets a percentage.
The boxing, how many percent do you think the organizers? Okay, you have to pay rental for the stadium. How many percent do you think the organizers will give Levy? Right.
Okay.
10%.
Let's just use an example here. Yeah. Okay. 10%. 10% of another 60,000 tickets in there that are over 100, 200 quid a piece. Okay. That's a lot of bloody money. And then you add it all up together with all the different events, all the different times. It all adds up.
Hold on. Let's say you get 60,000 people going for a boxing match on an average, right, of 200 quid, right? That's 12 million pounds. Okay.
Some people are paying nearly 9,000 for tickets at a boxing match.
And 10% of that 12 million pounds is 1.2 million pounds.
No, I'm just as guilty. I'm just as guilty, but we don't argue about football no more. We argue about business. I'm just as guilty, by the way. This is what we've become at Tottenham. We've become. We're all chartered accountants. We're all financial gurus. We're all,
I think the best way.
I'm just as guilty.
The only way Spurs get taken. I think the only way Spurs get taken over if a big sheet comes in. If a big sheet comes in and decides they're going to sports wash like they've done with the other clubs, they're on a sports washing mission, basically.
Do you know what, Tommy? I don't even think we need that. Hear me out. I don't even think we need some massive sheikh that comes in. No, I just want an owner that cares about the football club. I just want an owner that goes, do you know what?
I don't think that will happen now. I think the only person that comes in is not going to care about the football club because they're going to have to pay they're going to have to pay 8 or 9 billion pounds.
I know.
So I don't think the principles will be to sports wash.
Tommy, no, I agree with what you're saying. I agree with the principle of what you're saying. But my point being is when everyone goes, we just need a sheikh to take over us. No, we just need an owner that cares about the football. That goes, do you know what? We're going to put on everything in that stadium. But the end goal is every pound or profit is made out of this is there to push the football team to success. That's all I've wanted.
Even if they've done 50% of it, Perchy, we'd be happy.
I know. But that's the position I'm in.
This is the point.
People don't care about us.
We're saying £100 for tickets and that. Yeah, for the small ones. Have you ever tried getting next to the ring or within 5 spaces of a ring in a Joshua fight or something? You're talking like 7,000 to 8,000 a bloody ticket. Yeah,
no, it's mad. Exactly. And I agree with you.
I think what people are misunderstanding here is just by the football side, there is no way we have got the 3rd biggest income in sport. Not football, sport. So that's definitely to do with a lot of income from the other side, isn't it? Because it all adds up to Tottenham Hotspur. That's what it all goes under. Otherwise, on just the football side, we wouldn't touch Liverpool. We wouldn't touch Man U. We wouldn't touch the others. Yet we got the biggest altogether income in the Premiership. Fact. We got the 3rd biggest income in sport. Fact. That's not just down to the football. So outside must have a big lot to do with it.
Wasn't it net profit, not income? Wasn't it net profit?
Net profit was over 430 million. After they paid their debts for the stadium and that, they still had over 300 million profit in their hands.
Listen, I partly agree with Perchy, right? I think the issue at Tottenham is pretty straightforward, right? It just needs a chairman and a board that says, okay, we're going to carry on doing what we're doing. It's our company. We do as we want. But we are going to hand over the football side of things to football people, and we're just going to let them do it. Mm-hmm. Let them do whatever they want. Data analytics, improve the scouting, work with the manager and the recruitment team to put in a plan of how we're going to bring new talent into the squad. We have much closer links with the academy and how we can bring them in and integrate them over a period of time. What players to go out and loan, what players to keep. The business done earlier. Just football decisions made by football experts. If they just handed over that to the right people and never interfered, I think we'll be okay. But they don't.
No, we will be.
Don't do it.
We will be okay. But that's. I think we've seen 23 years of Levy. That's not suddenly going to change. The only people that can afford to come in now will be the Qataris and will be the Saudis, and they will do all that. They will offer all that. They will offer all that because they're not there to make money. They're there to sports wash. It's as simple as that. They're there to sports wash.
But as all we want is someone to put as much heart into the football.
But I think
that's all we want.
But then half the fans don't want to be like Chelsea. We don't want to be like Newcastle.
Yeah,
we want to be all good.
And then when it comes down to it, and they put the money into it, and we start winning FA Cups and then fighting for the league and everything, I bet you all those fans shut the up.
If we sign Mbappe, they'll all be queuing outside the Hotspurs.
You know it, don't you?
Club shop. Then Mbappe number 9 on the back of the shirt, of course.
As all we want is for someone to do it like 90% of other clubs, 99% of other clubs that concentrate just as much on the football as they do as the business. Man City, business, football, 50-50 basically with them. Man U, Liverpool, Chelsea, Bayern Munich, Real Madrid, everyone else, they put just as much heart in the football. We don't. We put 10% in football, 90% in business. And we just want someone to give a shit about the club and spread it both ways.
I'm with Stel and Perchy when we say, I believe protests can work to a certain degree. I don't think protests are going to move Levy on. It might value the club slightly lower if the clubs, if the fans really get on the owner's back and we keep finishing 7th, 8th, 9th, 8th, it might devalue the club slightly, so Levy has to take less. But protests will help on the pitch matters, but even with Levy there. But we saw it when Nuno got sacked. We did unite. I was there at the Man United game, 3-0 to Man United. We united, Levy out. Next day, Nuno was sacked. 2 days later, we got Conte, probably the most elite manager we've ever employed. So it can help. And social media matters as well. Social media is huge right now. We've got a president elected, for fuck's sake. So social media is massive. And I saw that with the Porro deal. That nearly went through. That nearly fell apart. But the final day, the fans went crazy because we need a right wing back. Levy flew to Portugal and got it done. So I believe there's power. I don't think there's power to move Levy out. We need things to change. And then for me, hope that we get a sports washer in to just I agree. Just smash it out because
I agree with what you said.
They'll put money in. They don't care about. They'll put money into the club. They will help the scouting system. They'll do all of that because they're not there to make money. It's as simple as that. It's going to cost They said £5 billion last summer. Levy mentioned they'd accept £5 million. No chance. Everyone's come to the agreement. It's 5 million, 9, 10. It's closer to double figures. It's got to be closer to double figures.
Tommy, it's like I said to you though. Then whoever pays for Tottenham, they ain't paying for Tottenham. They're paying for the business. Tottenham Hotspur as a football club are not worth £5 billion. Tottenham Hotspur as a football and a business are worth 5, 6, 7 billion pounds. That is our big problem.
Right. We're gonna 53 minutes in. We're gonna get away from the ownership stuff a little bit. Even more like some optimistic, some nice news coming out. You could say.
Please show me some.
Is that nice? Right off to buy it Arsenal. That's not
it's
nice.
Slightly better than not being able to get new owners, but yeah, it's. I mean, we go from. I mean, I'm being pedantic. We go from bad news to worse news in many ways. So Romano, a few days, put this out. David Raya prefers Arsenal move over Bayern. Deal depends on clubs now, but Arsenal expected to bid soon in order to accelerate talks. Negotiations with Bayern are currently off after loan offered in the morning, not what player or Brentford wanted. How do you feel about this whole Raya situation, Eugene? I'll start with you, Eugene. The whole Raya situation. We got Vicario instead, and it looks like Arsenal and Bayern might be getting him.
To tell the truth, right?
They don't need him. The point there is, Eugene, they don't need him. He's not even going to be first team.
No. I know Brentford doesn't need Raya anymore, right? So last year on his contract, he was put out there at £40 million. We were in for him. We were negotiating. we put in 25 million, then he went up to 30 million, and the stories go on and on and on, and then we get Vicario, and Raya is left aside, and then we will say, oh, it was a good choice we got Vicario because look at nobody's going for Raya, right? Now Bayern is supposed to be interested in Raya, Arsenal is supposed to be interested in Raya. Our fan base goes crazy again, so it is what it is.
Do you know who was interested in Vicario though?
Yeah.
Bayern Munich was looking at him for a good year. Chelsea was looking him up. Man U was looking him up. We were. Inter Milan was literally just about to buy him because they knew they were selling Onana to Man U. They was literally just about to get him. AC Milan was having a good look at him. And the reason we jumped in and snatched him up is because we knew Inter was going to sell Onana and then they was going to get him because he had an epic season in Italy that year. It's definitely a potential buy. It's definitely a bit of hope on it sort of thing. But he was more watched than Raya all day long. He was watched all over Europe more than Raya.
But whatever it is, Raya's still got that Premier League experience, right?
Yes.
And but the thing is that 40 million, of course, is slightly overpriced. And since we got Vicario, I mean, he wasn't much of an interest to anybody until recently, which is now under the radar of Arsenal. So, and of course, our fan base will go crazy whenever, whatever we wanted goes to Arsenal.
No, I think with the David Raya one, I think this is the. I said this when I was fuming because I wanted David Raya, and then I realised, it worked out. I thought we got Vicario, and I said it did exactly what I wanted us to do in the sense of getting things done quietly under the wraps and get it sorted. But the key one I said is he weren't worth 40 million quid. And it proves in the pudding. I said what I did say though, he would go near the end of the window because Brentford have to sell him, and they won't sell him at 40 million quid if they have to sell him. They need to get some money back for him because he goes on a free at the end of the year, and they've already signed another goalkeeper in Flecken who was playing all of pre-season. So
they did try to beat Raya as well.
They're proactive. Brentford, Brighton are proactive. They know who's taking over.
But I said, the thing is here was the question is what I said to people. I said, well, would you rather us sat here now in this period still trying to get David Raya or have a goalkeeper signed before pre-season? One of the key positions that we needed to sign was a goalkeeper. So I said,
I agree.
We have to be a little bit sensible when if we're getting annoyed. Listen, him going to Arsenal is quite poetically funny because we were trying to sign him all window, and then he goes to Arsenal. But listen, he's obviously going to go to Arsenal to challenge number one over Ramsdale, isn't he? So it just teams they're getting business done quickly, doing it right.
And who's going to challenge Vicario for the number one?
We're going to get onto that in a second, Eugene. We're going to get onto that in a second. But just sticking with Raya for now, Stel, what have you made of this? If he ends up going to Arsenal or Bayern, do you think we've got a cheaper alternative in Vicario?
How can we assess anyone right now? We've had one game against a relegation battling West Ham, who lost their best player. And we played the Sailors. There's talk now that the Barcelona game might be off as well. So
whoa! I've got a ticket for that. It better not be.
It might be.
Don't try that one with me.
There's
bloody tickets for that.
I blame Levy for everything.
I do as well.
But I don't think this young goalie. I don't think we can assess him yet. I don't think we know. I think the only thing I will say about Raya is he's proven Premier League level. Yeah, he's proven. So if you want a sure bet, I reckon we could have got him for 30 mil. 40 mil, 1 year left. I get the argument. Okay, go in for 30. I've heard Arsenal going to get him for 22. But it's all rumours and speculation. I would have gone for Raya. I wanted Raya.
The reality of the situation is that we bid for Raya. We bid £20 million. We just didn't up it. So we did bid for him.
No, I think we went up to 25 million, to be fair. We went up to 25.
I don't think we did. I heard 20 million. That was it. We were stubborn.
We went 2025 and then
I don't believe we do that. I don't believe we do that. I think it's a set price.
That's what happened.
Set price. Every player, that's the stubborn price. We're not moving. We don't budge. I don't think we budged on 20 million. I think Brentford would have accepted £25 million because they signed the keeper. They signed the keeper, as you said, in replacement. The guy's got a year left on his contract. And, the fact that they've sold their keeper, they've signed a new keeper. That's a big one for me.
Tommy,
Of course, they've said £40 million. They've said £40 million. Of course, you're going to up it. You're going to ask for the most possible. You're selling anything, eBay, boot fair. You're going to ask for the top price.
But Tommy,
come down and you're going to meet in the middle. But I don't think we met in the middle.
Tommy,
20 mil was the fee. That was it. I don't think we bid more than that.
Tommy, I want right. Okay, so I was having this conversation last night on our channel. There's this perception that when you negotiate, if let's say the asking price is 40, you go in at 20, go in low, and then you kind of meet somewhere in the middle. There's that kind of that thought process.
Anything in the world. That's what you do with anything you buy in the
world.
Well,
yes and no, right? Because there's different ways to negotiate. Another way is you say, right, we're going to pay 20. Is there a player you want from our club as well? And then you like we did with Madison, give Leicester 40 million and sell Winks for 10. It ends up being 30. So there's that. Or the other way is what Arsenal did with Declan Rice. You pay above the odds, but you wipe out the competition and you guarantee you get him, but you badly want him. So I think Man City paying 100 million for Grealish, I said, well, that's a lot of money. But then when you do the treble and you win 300 million pounds of prize money, Jack Grealish doesn't look that expensive now. So with Spurs, I never know what our strategy is. Are we just trying to do this go low, go up a bit and stop? Or are we trying to buy players and add one of our players to balance off the fee? Or one thing I know we never do is, right, who do we want? We want, for example, let's just pick a player.
Mbappe.
We want whoever. Let's say we wanted Grealish. Let's say we wanted him and he wasn't 100 million. And we said, right, how much do you want? And they say, we want 50 million. We then look around and think, who else is sniffing? What would it take to wipe them out? Right, we'll give you 60 million. Done. Because you've just wiped out the competition. But you get your man. Spurs never do that. We never ever do that. We never go in for a player that we think, like with Raya, I get not paying 40 million, but if we ended up going into 22, 25, how much did you really want him then? Did you really want him? I don't think you did.
Well, let me ask you a question about Raya. Let me ask you all a question about Raya, yeah? Now, I was firmly one, Raya, good idea, yeah? But let's look at it this way, yeah? Who did Man U just go and buy for 45 mil?
Yeah, Onana, yeah.
Hang on, let me explain something then, yeah? They just went and bought a goalkeeper that had one good season at Inter Milan, had just come off of a drugs ban, had just been kicked out of his international team, and had a couple of good seasons in the bloody Dutch league, yeah? Now, I totally agree with what you say. You go for experience in the Premiership, this and that. So why have they gone for that? Because of one good season, basically, with a player that's got a known drug record and also kicked out of his international team because of his attitude and everything else, instead of going for Raya, who they would have probably got down to about 30 mil, has got experience in the Premiership and is shown a pretty good keeper. I haven't seen no one else go sniffing around Raya.
Onana did have a big reputation. You can see young Ajax players are going for 60, 50, 60, 70 million pounds.
I
am surprised, Dan, with exactly what you said. The fact that they spent 50 million and he had this drugs ban because he
went a year without playing football nearly, didn't he?
So I'm very sure.
I think
9 months. I think it was 9 months. He got banned for.
When he first started at Ajax, he was huge. He was rated as the next best thing. The next best thing. So they've taken a risk. Taken a big risk.
I think I know the answer. I'm pretty sure there's a rule where if you buy a player from another Premier League club, you have to pay. I think it's 75% of the money up front, and that rule's in place to protect clubs in Britain from not getting their money. Whereas if you buy a player from abroad, you can do like a 5-year, 8-year, whatever payment plan you can. So Onana is a cheaper payment process, whereas Raya, you're going to have to pay a bigger chunk up front. I'm not saying that's the reason, Dan, because I don't know. I don't work for Man U, but
none of us do. It was just
that's one of the reasons. That's one of the reasons Arsenal bought Pepe instead of Zaha, and that backfired on them. But I don't rate Onana. I don't rate Onana, by the way. I don't rate Onana. I don't think Onana's all that.
He's a good keeper, but he's no world-class keeper.
He's not world-class, no.
No, Onana played with Ten Hag. I think that's why, more or less,
Yeah,
He got
I think that's a
200.
valid
Could
point.
well
Yeah,
be as
yeah,
well.
of course. That is a
Could
valid
be
point.
as well.
No, but
Plus,
just
what Heller said, maybe not all up front, the 45. It could be broken down to a 5-year deal. You just pay 10 now or 8 now. I mean, it goes up from there. And we do not know the 45 is the whole package.
Like Declan Rice, for example, Arsenal would have had to pay a lot of money up front. A hell of a lot for that deal. A lot.
There would have been future installments. There's usually anything over 20 mil, there's installments. Not right, always, usually. But over 20 mil is usually.
Tommy, when you buy from another English club, I think you have to pay 75% up front.
I've never heard of that before. Never.
Yeah.
Never heard that. I know you have to pay a certain percentage up front with the English. That's like the English tax as such. I did not know it was 75%, and I can't picture it. I think English tax. Because that is basically saying Man City would have had to pay 75 million cash up front. I can't see that.
The English
tax is the home quota, isn't it? The home
quota is the English tax. Yeah, home quota.
There's definitely a rule in place. It's designed to protect British clubs.
Yeah,
from getting their money. Listen,
I just don't see it being 75%.
You know what? I'll find it. I'll have a look.
I just think if we just to sort of go back to the topic and David Raya, I think you've got to remember is that I think you've got to bear in mind is David Raya. If we signed him early, we're signing a premium to getting him before pre-season. Let's be frank and honest. I think we all agree. Brentford were going to sell him at whatever means possible. So this is the conversation with the whole Vicario thing, and this is why people in the chat as well, just watching as well, just like hear me out. What I'm saying is like if we'd have said nothing. And listen, I'm not defending the club, by the way, because the way we deal with transfers is an absolute disgrace. Point one, but the point I'm trying to make is we'd all be losing our marbles if we hadn't signed David Raya now and tried to get him for £22 million, which is the fee now. We'd all be going, what on earth are we doing? We haven't signed a goalkeeper and the season starts the following Sunday. We signed a goalkeeper and then everyone goes, it's like, let's just put put balance onto the table.
No, I agree. Absolutely. I agree. It's great that we got a player in early. We haven't got a player in one of the other trouble positions that we needed 2 or 3 in centre-back. But it is key that we got a goalkeeper in early. But whatever anybody says, Vicario is the cheaper option because we bid £20 million for Raya and we got Vicario for 17 million. There wasn't a rumour that we bid for Raya. It was well documented we bid for him. But the fact that Vicario was cheaper, 17 million, that's how much we got. I think 15 rising to 70. We got him because he's cheaper. That's unquestionable. Or we would have got Vicario in first. Raya was the target. Raya was the number one target.
He was.
I didn't even want Raya. I honestly didn't want Raya. I didn't want Raya. I want Jose Sarr. There's other keepers that I would have taken in front of Raya. But the fact that we bid for him first, and that's where I'm in disagreement with you, Perchy. I don't think we bid 25 million. I think 20 million.
We are so
stubborn in negotiations. That's the figure. We ain't moving. We ain't moving. That's how League's done business for.
But that's how we've done business. That's how we've done business all the time. Is we start low and work our way up. From what I read reports.
Start low and move slightly higher, but it's still low.
2025. I think we were trying to get the deal done for around 30. Is my theory. It's just a theory, but
I think they weren't budgeting. We bid 15 million for Grealish. Then the next week we bid 4 million in Onyema. So I think
but that was an absolute catastrophic disgrace. But that was
we could have had Grealish.
We bid 13 million for Trossard. Arsenal 2 days later.
Do you know what? This is exactly. By the way, this is exactly the same concern that I have with Ashley Phillips. By the way. Because I think it'll be a very similar situation. We'll be looking back going, why didn't we get that done? And listen, we can all sit there and say that we're waiting for this release clause that happens at the end on the weekend at £2 million. You think other football clubs won't be looking around at £2 million for a young 19-year-old centre-half? Wait for other clubs to be knocking on the door.
It'd be nice to get Phillips in because he's rated highly. But to be honest with you, I don't really care about Phillips. He's played 8 times for Blackburn. He's played 8 times for Blackburn. We need to be looking at centre-backs. We need these centre-backs that are coming straight in.
We
need it now, Phillips, not next week.
Ashley Phillips is going to be a cracking player in a few years'
I
time.
agree.
As an answer now.
He's going to be a cracking player, but what is that?
Yeah, but Tommy.
Right now, I agree. Right now, no. He's one for the future.
This is based on extended highlights.
I agree.
This is based on
Tommy. Sorry, Tommy. No, Tommy.
Perchy.
No, I spoke to
Tommy.
Scout.
I know people that
Tommy.
love him.
I spoke to scouts and coaches in the game, right, through my work. They all praise this boy. The problem is he's not ready now. He's not.
Yeah, no, I agree with that.
That's not good to us. That's not good to us. It's not good to us. It's not good to us.
Winks is going to be the next Xavi. Giovanni
sorry, Tommy.
Dos Santos was going to come to Spurs and be the next big thing.
But that's a silly narrative to go by, though. Tommy, that's a silly narrative because we could.
People I speak to never said that about Dos Santos.
But that's what I mean. This is my point. But we could flip the argument and say, well, we signed Gareth Bale for what, £3 million from Southampton, and look what happened there.
It was 10 million.
10 million. Whatever. The fee irrelevant.
But
my point being is my argument is this is the point here, and we can't move goalposts here. We have to sign Ashley Phillips, but that doesn't mean we don't have to sign other centre backs. Both arguments are in different conversations.
That's what I'm saying, Perchy. He seems like a good signing, but I don't really care about that.
But you went. I don't care.
We need a defender now. A defender who can do it now, not who can do it in 3 years' time. I get the point on the money, Perchy, but we need it now.
Dan. Two things can be right at the same time. Yes, we do, but we also need centre backs for the future. And the theory is here. This is the argument. What I can see, and this is premonitions, by the way. 5 years' time later, he's gone and playing at Liverpool and he's commanding their... I'm just hypothetical, by the way. He's commanding their back line because he's gone to there for £2 million. We'll all be going on channels like this going, absolute disgrace how we didn't get Ashley Phillips over the line. He's now in the England setup and he should be at Tottenham because we threw it away. This is the thing here. We wouldn't be sitting there we won't be going... Oh, well, we needed another centre-back at the time. We'll be going mad if we don't sign this lad. And what Stel's right. Everyone in the game is telling this guy is a talent. Get it done.
I've heard, Perchy, that's fantastic. I've heard tons and thousands of players.
Guys, hold on.
That's not the point.
Tommy,
we need to focus on getting a...
Tommy, you don't even look at centre back.
You don't even look at centre back. 1 minute, Eugene. 1 minute, Eugene. 1 second. 1 second. We can focus on we get the two big time centre backs in, then we focus on the 3, 4, 5 million players that are going to be good in 4 years' time. That's the way that I see it.
I know. We're supposed to do that, but we don't do that, right? But guys, look back 4 years. Okay, how many young, talented, 19 years old, 18 years old, 20-year-old players that we've brought in that's come good for us?
But we haven't bought any.
Ryan Sessegnon?
Gil, 35 million.
Wait. Jack Clark, Troy Parrott, all come with potential, right? To be great or good.
Because our academy system was an absolute shambles.
Yes,
I mean,
I think what we're doing, we're trying to correct our wrongs from the last decade. We have to.
We have
our academy is good.
We are going to be playing next season. We are going to be playing next season with Eric Dyer. We're going to be playing next season with Eric Dyer and Romero. The talk of Phillips is nice, but it means nothing to me. We're going to be playing with Eric Dyer and Romero. It's as simple as that. The way things are going, we need centre backs ready now.
Tommy, if he comes in and he's good in 3-4 years' time, and we don't get him, but we go and get a centre back that does it for us now, I don't think anyone would give a toss.
But we should be doing
where
both.
Spurs are that? I get what you're saying, Perch. I get what you're saying. But Tottenham are that bloody tight. Levy is that bloody tight.
Yeah.
That 9 million, whatever that goes on him, won't now go towards the centre back rights that we need.
I'm not debating.
I'm agreeing with you as well, but I want the centre back now.
But the football. This is what I find amazing at the moment, and nothing against you, Dan. You know, I'm a big supporter of you. I help you out. I chat to you all the time about this stuff, and we on and off stream. But this is where I always say with this stuff, we're run terribly. I feel like we're the only football club that seems to only manage to get one deal over the line at a time. Everyone else seems to be going, we're talking about that. And they all seem to happen at the same time. We're the only football club going, well, we better get a centre-half in. Well, we can't do this academy, sign this academy lad from Blackburn at the same time. We have to do one at a time. We're the only club that seem to do that. We're run like an absolute shambles.
On the football side, we are bloody awful.
I agree.
And if that 9 million that we spend on him then stops us putting another 9 million.
Well, I've heard it's 2. I've heard it's 2 over the weekend.
It's cheap. It's
right
not
saying.
much money either. It's 2 or 3 million
Yeah,
pounds.
it's mad, isn't it?
Do you know?
It's 2
Do
or
you
3
know what I
million
don't
pounds.
understand? Do
He
you know
is
what I don't
rated highly,
understand,
boys.
right?
Perchy, I agree. He is rated highly, but
Yeah.
but if
I
it was
mean,
at the start of the
what I
window,
don't-
if we signed Ashley Phillips in the first week of the window or second week, fine, plenty of time to find another set. That's great. But 7 weeks into the window, I don't want to hear about Ashley Phillips being good in now or 3 years' time. We need to get centre backs now because we're on our arse. Our season starts in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Do you know what I don't get? Right, I don't get this. I've got nothing against Ashley Williams. I think he'll be a really good player. I've got nothing against
Ashley
signing him.
Williams.
I hope we-
Could be.
We're bringing
Ashley,
Ashley
beg
Williams
pardon.
back.
I'm so tired of it all, man. I've got no
Yeah, I
issue with
agree.
it. I'd love us to sign him, and for the future. But my only gripe with it is when we desperately need centre backs for the first team that is hemorrhaging goals, and at the same time, and this is where I'm now going to go into the Conte thing. One of the criticisms of Conte is he doesn't play academy players. So if we sign Ashley Young, what does that say to Charlie Sawyers and Donington, good centre backs in the academy? What are we saying to them? Because now, even by changing manager, we're still not going to bring through the academy players because we're going to buy them
Ashley
in.
Young.
So for
Ashley
me-
Young. You mean
I
Ashley
love.
Phillips?
I was going to say we went from Ashley Williams to Ashley
Let me
Young.
just
and
say
we might as well
Ashley.
bring those
Just
in.
say Ashley, right?
Yeah,
It's the situation
Mike
we're in
Ashley.
right
It
now.
might be Mike Ashley next.
The
don't get it.
situation we are
Well, we're
in.
playing Ben
There's no
Davis at
plan.
centre
It
back.
now.
We're playing Ben Davis at centre back. We might as well play Ashley Young at centre back too. We might as well get him in.
Look,
Rather Davis than Dyer.
look, my dream would be right now, and I'm just being realistic with what we're about as a club. I would like us to go and sign either a Tapsoba or a Mickey van der Vert, whatever his name is, someone that we think will be good, but we're not 100% sure, but we're worth to give it a go.
Ow.
Bring that player in, and then bring out a proven Premier League defender of a Laporte-esque level. Done. And then get rid of all these Ben Davies and Dyers and Sanchez, and then let the young academy players come in as the backup. And then over 3 years, develop them. And then maybe we've got a young crop of players coming through. But what we're doing is nothing like that. What we're doing is
Agreed.
we're keeping the exact same shambolic, god-awful players. The manager's praising Ben Davies. Every guy might be getting the captaincy, and any rumour about a centre-back has gone dead. And you're thinking,
Again, gone dead
there's
again.
no plan. There's no idea of what we're doing.
No,
Eugene, one second. Eugene,
Still, that's
I want to
the
bring
bit I
Eugene
do
in
agree
here.
with.
I want to bring Eugene in here because look. I mean, I've said 70 weeks, almost 50 days. I know you leave you out. Look at your back. You know, look at your green screen there. Leave you out. Even knowing how bad Levy is, can you believe? We just, conceding 6-1 to Newcastle. We lost 4-1 to Leicester. Final 10 games of the season, they got relegated. Can you believe we haven't signed a single centre back?
The thing is, can I believe that we haven't signed a single centre back, right? My question is, can you believe, right, we're going to give Dyer a contract extension, right? Because we already gave Davis a contract extension about
I don't think the
last
Dyer
year.
contract extension is happening, right?
Yeah,
It hasn't
because
happened
you know
yet.
why?
I don't
He
think it will.
was supposed to get a contract extension, right? Then there was a big uproar from the fans, and then they kept it all quiet. For all you know, right, Dyer has actually signed that bloody contract extension. That's why he's still there. And then come back to Stel, what Stel was saying, right? We've kept this bunch of defenders. Dyer, when Mourinho was here, Mourinho wanted to change our centre backs. It wasn't done, right? Dyer came in and says, then Nuno came in, it wasn't done. Conte comes in, it wasn't done. Now Ange comes in, Davis is supposed to be good. Dyer is supposed to give his all and his best for the club again, right? We're hearing the same stories for the past 4 years, guys. And if the owners can't see that, what are we going to say, right? Levy out, Inic out. That's all, right? If the fans aren't blind, right, the fans can see it. Why is Ange taking it? That's why I've got a prediction. Maybe within the month after the season, Ange will walk out because he says that, I can't work with this bunch of players. Have you not seen the latest statement from Ange coming out is that, will they be able to play the type of football I want? And if they can't, right,
Ange is a yes man.
they have to go, right? And
Ange
if
is a
Ange
yes.
doesn't get his players
Absolutely,
in
yes.
now, centre backs and all that, why is Ange there? And we know they
The day
can't.
he
right?
came out, and bigged up Ben Davies, Eugene. The day he came out and
Yeah.
bigged up Ben Davies. I'm not asking him to throw a player under the bus. I've never said throw a player under the bus. You don't have to publicly big up one of the shittest players in the club.
Remember what the Conte
It's
said.
yes man mentality. Right? It's yes man bullshit.
I understand what Conte said when he first came back. He said, "Oh, I'm fine with my defenders, right? They're okay, right? And look what happened, right?
They all lie until they snap. All these managers are.
So what is the problem there? Why do managers come into Spurs, right, knowing Levy is a piece of shit, right, that manipulates every angle of their life? They don't.
I honestly,
he doesn't.
I honestly think managers come to Spurs. Either because the paycheck is too good to be true, or they come to Spurs because they think they can change the culture. And they will never, ever, ever, ever change anything with this ownership. It's not possible. Poch came close, but we had one of the best scouts in the business with Paul Mitchell. He fed us. Now who's
it's an easy game at Tottenham. Let's be frank and honest. We all say that it's actually an easy ride because let's be frank and honest. There's a reason why managers. Well, no, it's an easy ride at Tottenham. You can do one of two things. You either become a hero for getting top four because our fan base love it so much, or you don't. You get sacked and get paid off. It's a free hit for managers.
You're a winner either way, ain't you?
You're a winner either way. You get paraded like a hero by the fans, or you get a massive payday by getting booted out. So I honestly think
Conte come in thinking he's doing us a bloody favour.
And it doesn't hurt your CV as a manager because we don't win any.
Conte was getting £20 million a year. He was getting just under $2 million a month.
He got an easy payday, isn't it? Let's be honest.
Of course it is.
He didn't even get the sack.
Conte didn't come because it's a prestigious job. Let's face it. He came because it's 300 grand a week.
It does it. Let's be honest. Let's be frank and honest. It hasn't harmed Jose or Conte's career.
He broke. He had a gallbladder problem. The stress was so high, right? During the World Cup,
he weren't well, was he? Let's be honest.
Yeah. Because of the stress. During the World Cup, he was supposed to settle his contract, right? When the World Cup ended, I knew it was over because he didn't settle the contract, right? And when the World Cup was over, he was already finding an escape route from Spurs.
Yeah, I was saying though, he might as well walked around with a "please sack me now" hat on. It felt like that. Like he wanted. Listen, but I wanted him to walk after the shambles of a transfer window we had in January.
The sack, did he? He didn't even get the sack. It was an agreement, wasn't it?
Yeah. It was mutual consent,
It was an agreement.
Well, he wanted his final paycheck, right? He wanted his final paycheck.
But that's why he left.
He didn't get the sack. He only got half the money he would have got, but it was still a shitload of cash, so he wasn't bothered either way. And it wasn't just because he was ill. He'd had about 3 friends die as well, and then the man was not well. He had to go for whether it's
he needed time away, didn't he? You could tell, didn't you?
The man needed time to himself, basically. So even forgetting the football side, the man was ill.
It's true. He hasn't taken another job
physically.
Well.
Yeah,
he hasn't taken.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
But for everything before that stage, I can't show him no sympathy because the bit I turn it to on the manager side is if you're a world-class bloody manager and it ain't working in your formation and you can't get the players to work in your formation, you then have to adjust to what players you have got and change that formation to make it better. He didn't. He was just too bloody stubborn. That's
why I disagree, Dan. Because before Conte showed up, we finished 6th, we finished 7th, got us into 4th. He done the unthinkable and got this team into 4th. And that's what Conte done. Conte's never.
Why did we get in 4th?
No matter where Conte's
because everyone else played so crap.
No,
we got that by pure chance.
No matter where Conte's gone, he doesn't play great football. He wins games. He never, ever has played great football. It's always pragmatic. Inter Milan, Juventus, Italy, Chelsea wasn't great football at all. It's never been. You knew what you was getting. And Stel said earlier about the youth players. He doesn't touch youth players. Never has done. No. Never will do. He stays 2 years at a club. 2 years, that's it. Done. I'm out. So that was the manager. The manager needed players now. We didn't get. Let's be honest. To watch. It was horrible to watch. I didn't.
But Stellini and Ryan Mason changed the formation.
Where were we when Conte was sacked? He had to get sacked. We were 4th. We were still 4th.
this.
finished 8th. 10
We
games
was
later,
never
we
in
finished 8th.
fourth.
We were losing
We was
6-1
never
to
in
Newcastle.
fourth place.
We were losing 5-1 to Man United. This is why Levy. This is why Conte couldn't play attacking, not with his defense. He had to play.
Yeah, but let's just. I think we're going slightly off topic on the Tottenham Hotspur centre back. But I just want to say
we're in for a bad season, aren't we? We're in for a bad season.
Look, Stel, I've said this. I've said this all along. I don't care where we finish.
Another season. Another season.
I think it'll be like that. I think people need to buckle
It'll
up
just
and
be better
realise
football to watch and lose to. That's all it comes down to.
Do you know what it's gonna? No, but Dan, what it's gonna be, instead of us losing 1 or 2-0, we're gonna probably
we're gonna get spanked. We're
gonna lose. No, I don't think we're gonna get spanked because I think we'll score goals. But I think we're going to lose.
Centre backs, Perchy, we will, won't we?
No, Dan. Dan. I don't think we're going to get spanked. What will end up happening is, this is my theory, where we were losing 1 or 2-0 last seasons here and there, and we had the odd spanking back in there. What we're going to end up losing, we're going to lose games 4-3, 3-2. We're going to score goals, but we're going to concede a load more. That's my theory, anyway. I think
the only bit
just if Harry Kane
when we come and play Man City,
I look at
Liverpool and that,
3-5-1 and all that coming back again. Yeah.
We got Arsenal, the Emirates, in about 4 or 5 games in. We're going to get destroyed by new one at the Emirates. We're going to get
They will back.
We're going to get spanked at the Emirates.
And at Man City.
No, I agree with that one. I do agree with that one.
And at Liverpool, and at Aston Villa, and at Newcastle.
Chelsea's the big derby for me this season. Chelsea's the big one. Chelsea's the big one.
Are you not watching Poch ball at the moment?
Oh, they are turning up, aren't they?
We finished 8th.
Everyone laughed at me when I said that Chelsea will be comfortably in the Champions League next season. Everyone laughed.
I think they'll be Champions League.
I think they'll be comfortably in the Champions League.
It was an anomaly season for Chelsea. It was an anomaly season. Let's face it. Last year, then never finished.
No, Tommy, I just think they've got the right manager in place. I think
they've got the right manager for the right bunch of players. That's what they've done.
Yeah, they're supporting them. Yeah. What was their target this summer? They had so many players they had to sell. They sold 17. They've brought 3 or 4 in. They've calmed down a little bit, Chelsea. They've done things right. They've made the obvious decision. The obvious decision, the only big decision Spurs had to make this summer was what centre-backs are you bringing in? What centre-backs
and
are you bringing in?
And the goalkeeper.
The goalkeeper, but centre-backs predominantly is this. We need 3 centre-backs.
We needed a goalkeeper and 2 centre-halves, crucially.
Can I ask you a question, guys? Can I ask you a question, right? What are you more disappointed by? What are you more disappointed by so far? Is it the positions we haven't brought in, or the players we haven't got rid of?
The players we haven't brought in is our more
players we haven't brought in, because I feel we could do it
even if there's players we can't get rid of, at least like we've got the players we needed. The fact that we've not recruited well. I'll be honest, our recruitment's been horrendous. I'll put it out there. It's been horrendous. It is a polar opposite. It is a parallel of last summer when everyone was saying it was an 8 out of 10 window because we signed 3 players quickly, which we've done this window, and then nothing for ages. That's the key bit for me. But yet again, another window where we've not signed where we need. Yeah, Maddison's great. I like Solomon. I think he's good. I think Vicario, give him time, will be fine. I think the early pragmatism people worry about him, I think it'll be fine. But it makes no difference if you can't defend. Do you know what the crucial bit is here? Do you know what the stats is about us defensively? How many shots have we had against us in pre-season? 5. How many goals have we conceded? 4. Wow. Let that sink in.
We got Barcelona.
How many goal scoring opportunities? How many goal scoring opportunities have we given up? 5.
Oh,
they scored 4 from 5.
Yeah, that's
what's
what I mean.
Going to happen when we play
and every
Liverpool
single one of them was a defensive mistake.
And they're creating 20 chances.
And we played West Ham B team and bloody Cowboys.
That's what I'm saying. I agree with you. This is my point. One second. That's my
boys. One at a time.
No, one second. This is my point, though, Stel. That's exactly it. But look at every single one of the mistakes. Basic defensive mistakes. The two headers against West Ham in that first half. Basic defending. The third goal, Davinson Sanchez stepping up when he should be marking his man. Third one. What was the fourth one? It was a counter attack. It was a counter attack because Pedro Porro can't defend.
And that's 40. This is exactly why I see the Phillips deal as I don't care and irrelevant because we need players.
Yeah, no.
Now.
I agree.
For those reasons. You got
the manager praising.
Remember, West Ham had academy players playing. They had Lane playing centre back, right back.
Yeah, some of them. Yeah, some were. Yeah.
They had Fred Potts. They had Freddie Potts in centre midfield next to Flynn Downs. They had Ings, who's pretty much finished. Again, with Mubama up top, another academy player. Yeah. They beat us 3-2. Four, as you say, Perchy, 3 shots on target. Was it 3 goals?
But listen, but I think the key. Do you know what? Do you know? But the thing is that losing a friendly game isn't embarrassing. Do you know what the embarrassing bit is after that we haven't gone. Do you know what? Let's go out and sign centre halves.
Exactly.
That's the embarrassing bit's not the losing the game. It's a friendly. Who gives a shit? Like who cares? By the way, our pre-season's been
we both agree on
atrocious.
this. Yeah, we both agree on this. What I'm going to say here, Chelsea are a big club. They act like a bloody big club, right? They knew they had a load of dead wood to get rid of, but they went, do you know what? Stuff that lot. We'll have you, bought who they wanted, and just got rid of the rest later. Even though they lost money on them, whatever, gained money on a couple. That is how a big club does it.
Chelsea have just gone inside a centre half today.
Piss ball about with one bloody deal left, right, and centre. Won't get rid of nothing, but then say our club's too congested to bring players in and that. Bring in the players you want. Tell them you ain't going to play this year, so you better disappear. And I'll bet you 3/4 of them will find somewhere to go.
Dan, what? Look at what Chelsea have done. They get an injury to Wesley Fofana, and in a week they've signed a centre half today.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I basically just said. We've said this enough times, haven't we? We've said this enough times.
That is bang on, Perchy. That is bang on, Perchy. Because we even saw it with Man United in January. Eriksen got injured for the rest of the season. Next day,
the next day.
They put bids in everywhere. Arsenal, Caicedo doesn't go through in January. They go, okay, we'll wait till the summer. Jorginho next day. Okay, he's not fantastic, but he's good enough for the summer. Proactivity.
Yeah.
It's embarrassing. Do you know what I found embarrassing? Richarlison keeping the ball because he scored a hat-trick against a pub team and then lifting the Tiger Cup as if it was something. Then lifting the Tiger Cup
that was
like
bad.
It was something heroic.
Right, we're going to get onto that. That's the next topic. That's the next topic because we do need to get onto the striker situation.
That's a good move.
We are coming towards the end of the stream now. I don't try and keep these streams for too long.
I like this is therapy. I like it.
Too long over 2 hours. So half an hour, just over half an hour left of the stream today. Please make sure you like if you haven't already done so. We've got 75 people watching. Only 53 likes. I can see the people that haven't liked. I will find you. If you don't hit that like button, is that Liam Neeson?
Yeah, go on, smash like, guys.
It's free. Look, I'm kidding. It's free. On the road to 3K subs. It's completely free to subscribe as well. We've got notification bell too, notifies you of future content. We're going to get all the boys here plugged at the end, all big in the Spurs YouTube community. So if you haven't hit that like, please do. 70 people watching. No excuse we can't that we don't get up to 60 today. Right. I just want to touch on the centre-back thing one last time. And it's just, for me, it's troubling with how many targets there were available. Some have gone, some haven't. We've seen Disasi go today. We've seen Ndika go to Roma on a free. For me, no-brainer signings. The list is endless. Over the last few seasons. Botman. I was crying out for Botman from Lille last summer. Left-footed. That's what we need. So there's centre-backs available. 7 weeks in, we still haven't been able to get one. We need 2, 3, possibly.
The one I would kill for and go over Van der Ven all day long is Milenkovic from Fiorentina.
Yeah, Dan, he's a great player.
And we'd get him for about 25 to 30 mil because Fiorentina are in dire straits with money. The Italian league is in dire straits with money. Basically, everyone except even Juventus ain't exactly got it smart at the moment. Inter are in big debts. AC Milan are in big debts and everything. We would go and get him, even though they just sold Igor for 16 mil. Why we never went for that, I don't know either.
There's so many.
We could go and snatch him up.
He's another no-brainer.
He's got more experience than Van der Ven.
He's a fantastic.
He's got more experience than Van der Ven. He's been there, done it in a few things. I know he's only 24, 25, but a lot more experience than Van der Ven. And we could probably go get him for the same price, if not cheaper than Van der Ven.
And everyone was after him last summer. But he signed a new contract. So, yeah, Fiorentina are in a bit of debt. Selling Amrabat as well, aren't they? So, yeah, I think right now, in terms of I think we're at the stage where we have a centre-back or 2 targeted and maybe even terms agreed with both players, with the players that we're looking at. I think VDV's agreed. I think prices agreed, personal terms are agreed. I think we're holding out for Tapsoba. We're going to try and get that fee down because they want 50. We want Tapsoba for 40. If not, we'll get Van der Ven for 25. That's where I see we're at. And I think the next signing on top of that, I've said it all window before the window started. 100% Longley is going to be a Spurs player. 100%. He'll be the second centre back.
I think another problem we got that people don't really notice, that people don't really realise, everybody now knows our income. They now do to us, other clubs, what other clubs have now done to Man U, Man City's, Juventus, Bayern Munich's, Real Madrid's all their life. Right, this player is worth 40 mil. We know you got money. We now want 60 mil. And because we got the biggest income in bloody football, people now want extra money off of us. And that's just how it is. But Levy is so bloody tight, he won't even play close to what the player's worth, let alone what they want.
Absolutely, absolutely. What if there are going to be many fans? There will be many fans. I've seen this happen over 46 transfer windows with Levy. At the start of the window, it was, okay, it's the start of the window. It's the first few days. Don't panic. We haven't got any centre-backs in. Halfway through the window, they said, oh, let's wait till the 1st of September. 1st of September. Then the final week of the window, it'll be, look, the manager needs a couple of windows. We can't get all the players in. And we probably be stuck with one or two average centre-backs. I've seen that rhetoric happen time and time again with the Spurs faithful. We want a couple of windows for our manager. 2 windows, manager sacked. Same. Vicious circle, vicious cycle, I should say. Just same thing happens again and again and again. But Stel did mention Richie. So I've got this banner. I had this banner already going. So Richie versus Kane, because Kane could be sold. Or is there someone else that could fill the void if Kane were to be sold? So I'll start with you, Dan. I'll put this in order. If Kane goes,
we've already replaced Kane.
Are we going with Richie? Do you think we're going with Richie, or is there someone else?
I'll tell you what we've done. Yeah, right. Kane was 2 players in one. He was a number 10 playmaker, sit behind a striker, but he was also the main striker. Now we replaced Kane already. That's done. Jamie Maddison. He is now going to do everything. He is now going to do everything that Kane used to do, sitting behind either Son or Richarlison. I don't rate Son on the wing anymore. I don't think he's got it. But as a striker, as a poacher, I think Son will do fine. With someone like Maddison sitting behind Richarlison, I still think you'll see 10 goals out of even Richarlison. So in my eyes, we already replaced Harry Kane. Because the problem weren't goal scoring. The problem was we got no bloody playmaker in that area. Not even Bentancur is really a playmaker. He does his little bit as deep line. Good player, but I see people say he's world class. No bloody chance. But we already replaced Harry Kane with Jamie Maddison. We've already got the strikers covered. We don't need to concentrate on strikers. Forget strikers till next season. Get those bloody centre-backs in. That is our problem.
Stel, where do you sit on the whole Richie Kane debate? Is there someone you'd like to sign before the end of the window if Kane were to be sold?
I think Vlahovic would be a good signing for us, but we're not. I don't see him coming to Spurs.
He's going Chelsea, from what I see.
Well, there you go. He's going Chelsea. So,
he had a shocking season at Juventus.
I think Juventus have been a shit show, though. I think. Look, I don't. It's obvious you can't replace Kane. And we're not going to replace Kane. The only player that maybe could get his goals is an Osherman, but we're not going to spend 90 million. So I think the only solution is you go and buy 2 goal-scoring attacking mids and push Sonny up front. But we're not going to do that. We're going to play Richarlison. He's going to be the number 9 next season. He'll be all right. And then we'll probably play with 2 attacking mids. Whether they'll get enough goals, I don't know. You're really going to be looking at Sonny to have a massive season to compensate, but he's coming off an injury and not a great season. I've never understood this idea of sell your best player and you become better. I've never understood that. People say, oh, but look at Liverpool and they sold Coutinho. Yeah, but Coutinho wasn't the best player at Liverpool. He was one of the best players. And they went and bought 2 elite players. You know what we're going to do? We're going to get the Harry Kane money and buy maybe 3 or 4 players. That's what we're going to do, because we will never go and spend that money on 2 or 1 superb player. So, look,
I think
the
I've
players
seen
will
Tottenham
rally.
play better as a team without Kane.
Yeah, I think, listen, Dan, I think we'll rally. I think we'll actually surprise people in terms of getting goals without Kane. But I think we'll just get to that point where you're looking for someone to win you a game and he's just not going to be on the pitch anymore. And then that's where we're going to suffer.
But
What do you
scoring
reckon
goals ain't
Richie
our
can
problem
get you?
right now, is it?
How many goals can Richie get you next season, even with Maddison behind? How many goals can Richie get you?
I think.
You think
Listen,
10,
I if you watch him against Sailors, you think there's a player there. If you watch him against a Premier League team like West Ham, he couldn't hit a barn door. So you know.
Yeah, but look
again,
where they played him all the time. Same as Son. They played Son out wide the whole bloody time. Son is a striker, and everybody knows it now. Son is not a bloody cutting-in winger anymore.
It's about Richarlison.
2 epic feet. No, both. Either one of them. Richarlison. Look where he got played last year.
I think Richarlison will start.
Forward, everything. He was all over the place.
Yeah, but he under Angie's been up front. So
2 games.
I think. Yeah, for 2 games. Yeah, that's it. But that's what Angie's probably going to do. Look, I don't rate Richarlison. I don't think he's good. I don't think he's.
I don't think he's great.
Listen. A good season for him will be 15 goals.
That would be a very good season,
in my view.
People are losing their shit over Richie since the Sailors game, the hat-tricks. I've never seen a scrappy hat-trick in my life either. But
listen, he scored a hat-trick, but you got to bear in mind he's a pub side. I think people need to remember that. Like, I expect players like Richarlison scoring a hat-trick.
Like people bigging up Celso left, right and centre.
Yeah, Celso, all this crap about him bigging up. Like, for me, to answer your question, Richarlison, Kane, no. I think Kane's going. I think if we say it that, go and be bold out there and go and sign Gift Orban from Ghent. Go and sign the 22-year-old lad and go and build it around him. This lad is a sensation. Go and get him in. He will play exactly how you want him. He's a
then what about our centre backs, Perchy? What about
Dan, the art of YouTube is waiting for the line there. I was just about to get there. Go and sign him. Sign 2 centre halves and actually act like a proper football club. Listen, I get your point, Stel, about not selling your best player, but listen, bear in mind, Harry Kane doesn't want to be here. If he doesn't sign a contract, let him go.
Perchy, my point isn't we should keep him. My point is, I don't understand fans who say, sell him and we'll be better. We'll be okay.
No. We're not. No, without you don't. We don't become better without Kane. But what we have to do,
we won't improve.
I think we have
to sell him. I think Spurs have to sell him. I don't think it makes sense. The thing is, none of this business
without Harry Kane.
None of this business is going to get done for at least another 2 weeks because didn't he come out? Didn't Kane put a deadline?
Don't.
He put
if he plays against Brentford, he'll sign a contract. No, sign one now and show you.
I think that is a smart move.
For Harry Kane,
one at a time, boys. One at a time, boys. I can't.
He's put Kane into a corner. He's put Daniel Levy into a corner. He's basically saying, "Look,
agree.
If you don't sell me now, then you're going to lose everything because I'll stay on a free." Okay. But if you want to make money and you want to get some money out of my sale, you've got 13 days left, bro. What are you going to do now, Levy? Levy's in the corner.
He's sweating right now. And listen, I agree with you. This is nothing on Harry Kane, by the way. I think what he's doing is sensible for himself, and I respect that. But I'm going to put that aside for 1 second and focus on Tottenham. I'll focus on Tottenham for this 1 second. What I respect what he's doing there, like for himself. For me now, go and buy a young lad like Orban from Ghent, who his numbers, by the way, in Belgium are insane. And this is and everyone's talking. There's teams all around that want him, and everyone kept saying, "Oh, he won't come to Tottenham." Blah blah blah. I said, "I tell you what, he will, because if you get him in and go, I have faith in you, and I'm going to work on you to start. You're going to take a bit of time." Be a bit brave. This football club doesn't act brave. We're going to end up with what? Callum Wilson, probably. That's what no, but I mean it, because we don't act brave. We're not bold in transfer windows.
No, because we don't act like a big club.
And then everyone, even when we had top 4, there was something to attract players to us. There's nothing now. We're 8th.
But that's what nothing. But Tommy, that's why you go and get a young 22-year-old who is hitting it up in Belgium and bring him in and go, do you know what? We're going to build around you as your number 9. He's fast, he's dynamic. He can play on the left, can play on the right. But no one will want that.
We haven't even built around. We haven't even built around Son and Kane for the past 5 years. How are we going to build around a 22-year-old?
Why? Why? Because actually maybe we can actually go, do you know what? We're not going to be buying at this window up here. We're buying down here. So go and get young talent that you can get for 30 million quid and go, do you know what? We're going to work it and try. Listen, I'm not saying we do it because I know how we operate. We won't. I'm just sitting there going, do you know what? I'd actually be excited if we signed a lad like that and go, do you know what? Yeah, it won't be easy. Listen, I've said all along, this season won't be easy. I've already said it. I said, Dan, you'll know this. I say it on my stream every single time. I don't care where we finish as long as we don't get relegated. Don't care. Yeah. I don't care. I've said it all along. I don't think.
I think our problem, Perchy,
but the problem is, Perchy,
the money with Harry Kane is what he uses to buy players. The money with Harry Kane is
isn't that not a damning indictment of our football club?
Of course it is.
The problem is, Perchy, it's good to have one or two youngsters in, but if you don't care about where you finish and next season you finish 14th, the rest, your next transfer windows, you have no choice but to sign young players. Just
what's wrong with signing young players? If they're talented,
you need some players that are ready and going. You need to sign some young players.
If they're good enough, if they're young,
if they're good, you need to sign some.
It doesn't matter what if they're
ready players.
Yeah, but Tommy, that's rubbish though, because if they're good enough, they play regardless. Let's be honest.
Whether they're good enough depends on the evidence of whether they're good enough. So
that's where history comes into it.
But you take a punt sometimes. Do you know what I mean? We don't. Do you know what we do?
Sometimes, that's what I'm saying. Balance. You have balance. You take players that are ready, and you take players that.
Tommy, we don't do either. We don't do either, really.
You can't go all young. You can't go all young. You just can't go all young.
Why can't you?
You can't. You can't do that.
Why can't you?
You need leaders.
If you're good enough, you play.
So what if you don't get top 8 for the next?
Guys, 1 minute. Hold on, guys. This argument. There's a problem with this argument, right? I don't think either of you are wrong, but the issue is it depends what the plan is. If you're going to do what Arsenal did and rebuild it over 4 years, but you know you're going to stick with it regardless of what happens and develop a young side, then you can. If you're going to do what we tried to do with Conte and Mourinho, 2 years, quick in and out, bam, then you've got to bring in experience.
Agreed.
If you want to do balance, then that's kind of a bit of a Harry Redknapp, I guess. At the moment, between you guys and me, do any of us know what the plan is? Forget he's got a 4-year deal. Does anyone know what the bloody plan is?
That was exactly what I was going to say. Do you know what? I've always said I want a plan. I want something that I go, do you know what? I can get behind that. I can see what we're doing.
And that's what I'm purchasing. Arsenal is the perfect.
I think our plan now, right, is
Arsenal is the perfect.
Get back into Europe.
They've got the youth players through, but they signed the Odegaards, they signed the Parteys, they signed the Zinchenko, they signed the Jesus. They signed the Jesus, Zinchenko. They signed players that have won things with young players, and
they were young players as well.
Experience. That's key. That's absolutely key. But we can't just go. We're going to spend 20 million pounds on players from Belgium and Switzerland.
They're not going out there buying 35-year-olds, 34-year-olds. That's what I mean.
I think Arsenal have the youngest squad in the league, if I'm right.
They've balanced it perfectly. They've balanced things perfectly. Absolutely perfectly, the way they're going.
But that season we finished second, Tommy, we had a younger squad than what they had now.
But Tommy, but my point
we didn't kick on, did we?
Exactly. That was exactly what I was going to say. We didn't kick on. What Arsenal doing?
Thanks to Daniel Levy.
But I agree. I absolutely agree with you on that. But this is the point. Look what Arsenal have done this window for the first time back in the Champions League. Declan Rice, Timber, Havertz. Whether we like it or not, whether we laugh about Havertz, I don't think
Havertz.
He's back up anyway, Perch. You know what I'm saying? He's back up probably.
But whatever we want to call it, and someone's saying about
smart.
But this is the thing though. We just need a plan. I think Stel's right. There's no plan at this football club.
It's true. It is true. We say it all the time, Perchy, don't we? On every channel we go on, we say it all the time. There is no bloody plan at Tottenham Hotspur. We don't know whether we're coming or going.
Every channel says it, Dan. Every channel at some point
I've been on says the same thing, mate. I'm totally agreeing with you. There is no fucking plan at Tottenham.
There is.
That
is our problem.
Our scattergun approach to everything
plan
is
is
crap.
monetary.
Where is
The
he?
plan is monetary gains. That's all it is. That's the plan. The plan is monetary gains.
Scott Munn, where is he? Who's the football director? He's not come in yet. We haven't even got
There's
one.
no football
Paratici,
director.
is he cooking? Is he hiding? Is he doing
Coming
prison
all the way
time?
from
No one
America.
knows.
Paratici the consultant now.
The head of our academy section, under 21s to 17s, walked out today. It's a shit show. It's a shit show, man.
Okay.
He's done. He's cooked. See you later.
So, lots of news coming out actually on Sky Sports behind me. You got Mane, who's moved to Saudi Arabia, which opens up a Bayern Munich move. He's left Bayern Munich, hasn't he? So that opens up some funds for Bayern Munich to potentially come back in with Kane. Who else has gone? There's a few others that have gone in the last.
The young lad that's joined Chelsea, then gone straight on loan to Strasbourg.
There's some other big ones. There's some other big ones. It's on the bloody advert now, so I can't see. But there's some breaking deadline day news that affects us. Maybe not directly, but as I've always said, the domino effect, it could affect us down the line.
Would you take any of these players, right? They're all...
and Højlund's side full-time for Man United, so they're certainly not going to be in for Kane now, are they? Not that they were linked recently.
Would you take any of these players? De Gea, Maitland-Niles, Ramos, Mina, Bertrand, Lingard, Oxlade-Chamberlain, Traore, Moura, Hazard, and Morelos. Would you take any of them?
What, bring Moura back would be hilarious.
Morelos. I'd take Morelos as like
Did you say Ramos?
So I'd have Sergio. I'd have Sergio Ramos all day
PSG.
long.
I'd snap him up all day long.
Oh, I would have.
He's out of contract. He's out of contract.
We need experience.
I'd put him on 200 grand a week for at least a year with an extension and go. It'd be like our Thiago Silva signing that Chelsea had. Just an absolute unit at the back. And I'll tell you what. Exactly. And the thing is,
that's what I'm saying. We need some experience in there. We need experience.
No, but I agree. I'm not against it. I'm not against it. At the moment, I'd sign anyone. I'd sign Eugene at centre half right now. With that desperate. No disrespect, mate. I love you, really.
I reckon he's all right. I reckon Eugene's all right. I reckon he's 6'5".
Do you know what I mean? Though? At the moment, we're crying out for a leader. He would be. Do you know what? I would sign Sergio Ramos, sell Harry Kane, and I'd go, Sergio, there you go. You're captain now. You're in charge, mate.
And do you know what the other thing, Perchy? What is it I keep saying on every bloody show? The other thing people, I think, keep missing is the one centre-back we do get, because I don't see us getting two, they've got to work with Romero. Now, Romero's a very good player, but the thing I shout on everything I go is Romero needs a daddy standing next to him.
Someone hold his hand.
Not a brother. He needs someone who can slap him around the head and say, get your act together or keep him in place, basically, like when he plays for Argentina. That's why I don't think getting Van der Ven in is going to do any favours in centre if he has to play next to Romero. Romero needs a leader there. You go and put Ramos next to Romero, I think you'll have quite a shocking good defence there out of them two.
I agree. I think he needs someone. I think he needs someone with experience. I think you need experience around the squad anyway.
He needs a leader. There's always an alpha in the two defenders.
The only thing you
think the club changed when we signed Edgar Davids and Naibet for a season. I think Ledley King become a better centre back. Dawson, I believe in centre midfield. Davids, winning mentality. I think from that point on, we actually started getting in Europe. We almost got into the Champions League. Lasagna Gate. I think that's when our club changed. You get those experienced heads, even if they're just there for a year. It's key. The players around to learn. The players around to learn.
You just said David De Gea. I wouldn't have been too against that for a year.
We've still got Forster, Lloris, Vicario.
Lloris is gone, isn't he?
Do you know what?
Lloris I would potato, mate. See you later. He's all
if we sell,
you know what you say about De Gea?
If we sell Kane, I'd bring in Hazard on the cheap as a punt.
Really?
No, I'd give Hazard.
No,
as a punt.
He's got glass for legs these days.
Well,
Go take him back 5 years ago, but his kneecaps are glass now.
If he's injury prone, then forget what I said.
He's injury prone. He can't handle a tackle in Spain. He won't handle it in England.
Adama Traore fit Ange Ball?
Who?
You said Traore, right? Adama Traore.
Ange plays two touch. They play two touch football. Traore's a dribbler.
I don't want him anywhere near my football club. I think he's one of the most overrated football players I've ever seen.
Solomon looks technically better, to be fair to him.
I like Solomon. I think that was a shrewd bit of business. I like him.
Could well be. Like him. But again, we've only seen two games out of him, same as everyone else, and that. Same.
Yeah, we'll talk about Shakhtar in a minute. I've actually got a little bit on Shakhtar. He's ex-club in a minute because we've got him next. We've got Shakhtar next. But just finally to touch on, this was supposed to be about the striker. We keep coming back to the centre backs. It's supposed to be about Richie Kane and a potential new striker.
It's impossible not to talk about centre backs at Spurs, though, isn't it?
Exactly, because it's sacrilege that we haven't signed at least one at this point. Yeah, I don't think there's many opportunities. I think we're going to go with Richie. If we sell Kane at this point, I don't think the strikers that we can attract, quite frankly.
I think we'll put Son up there.
I think Richie or Son, switching them.
I'd go Son Kulusevski and
the latest links are looking at the papers and stuff. The paper roundup rumor mill. Brennan Johnson from Forest, linked with Spurs. Apparently Brentford bid £35 million. That got rejected. He's a top player, more of a right winger. But I can see him as a striker. Look, if Brentford bid £35 million, we're bidding like £10 million plus Sanchez or some shit like that going into the last few days of the window. It wouldn't make sense. It wouldn't make sense for them to sell Brennan Johnson, not in Forest.
I like Brennan Johnson. I don't see him at £50 million being good value. It's a good. You got to ask your question is. If you sign
this is the latest guy rumoured. That's what This
yeah. And one is if you sign him, you've got to then say how many goals do you value Brennan Johnson at? I look at him at maybe a 10-goal a season player.
I think he scored 10 at Nottingham Forest on the right wing. I think
that's what I mean.
In the right system, I think he'll score more in a better club.
I like him, by the way. I like him, but I just think we should be. I don't know. I say we should be looking at better, but then
there's no one out there, Perchy. There's
true.
One out there. We're a circus.
There is players out there. We just can't scout for toffee,
and we can't attract them because we're a circus, and we can't. We don't bid the amounts clubs value their players at. It's as simple as that. So that's the latest link. I mean, what I think, if we sell Kane, we're going to wait till January and possibly get Tony in then, or I think that's the best conclusion. I don't think we can get one in this window.
Why can't we go and get Tony now?
You can't. We can't.
And he will cost £60 million. And if Brentford want £40 million for Raya, they will want 60 or 70.
We can't.
Are we going to go and buy a player who got caught betting against his own team? Is Levy going to do that?
Levy likes players like that, right?
Whatever. We can't buy him now anyway. Even if we wanted to, it's a break. We can't sign him.
We can sign him on a pre-contract anyway.
You could pay the money now, and buy him for January. But yeah, let's be honest. Are we going to be signing I said that we should, but I don't. From what I've read, I can't see him fit in the system we play. We don't seem to be lumping balls much in the box. He's a good holder. Do you know what he'd have been great? He'd have been great in a Conte system. Because he'd have just held the ball up for days. And
he's very good. Yeah, he is. He is a root
one striker. I don't think he'd fit our system quite well. I like him, by the way. I think Ivan Toney's quality, but yeah, no, I'd be amazed if we signed him.
But yeah, the options are limited. The options are very, very limited. That's why there aren't too many.
But then his price as well, it'd be 50 mil all day long.
Easy. If they want 40 mil for Raya, I think Tony's got a 2 or 3 year contract. Third top goal scorer in the Premier League last season. They want 60 minimum, 60, 70 million. Are we going to pay that? We're going to pay 60, 70 million of Kane's money on Tony. I don't see it. No,
we can't even spend 30 million on a bloody defender that was at Wolfsburg who finished 8th, who are in trouble with money as well. And we can't even put together a 30 million deal for that. We ain't going to go and do that. Not a chance in hell.
Exactly. Agreed.
And that's why I'm so worried. If Kane goes, I'm worried. I'm massively worried. You know something.
Do you know what? I think as a team, I've seen us play better without Kane as a team. Because the problem is with Kane, and I say problem very lightly here, is as soon as one of our players has got the ball, there's only one routine. Where's Kane? Where's Kane? And they go for Kane. Without Kane, they have to work it as a team a bit better. Work it into the box more. Pass it about more. They can't just rely on that one bloody player. I think as a team, you might see better out of them. Whether we do more or not is a different story. But when you just focus on one player to save your bacon all the time, that can't do much good for people playing as a team.
Right. Right. Pre-season. Pre-season. We still are in pre-season, believe it or not. We've got 2 games left. What do you want to see in the next game, Perchy? What difference do you want to see in the next game against Shakhtar?
Levy out, Enoch out.
Yeah. Oh.
I'm just going to put this up. These are Shakhtar's recent games. These are the most recent games they've had. These are
Listen, I want to see. What do I want to see against Shakhtar? I want to see a team play 90 minutes. I want to see a team play none of this 45-minute crap now. 90 minutes. Go and play 90 minutes, and then play another team 90 minutes against Barcelona. I want to see a team that's coherent, that can actually play the system. Listen, as I said, you know me, I don't really care about results, couldn't care less. But I want to just see something. I'll be honest, honestly, I want to see a new signing, if I'm honest. I just want to be excited again. It was amazing, isn't it? This whole preseason has gone from up here to down here in the space of a preseason. Normally that happens during the season. I went, do you know what? I don't expect anything much this season. I just want to see start seeing some good football. We're going to see that regardless, whatever we think. We're going to see some good football.
We're going to see more entertainment.
We are, yeah. We're going to be seeing a bit more. But yeah,
it's going to be exciting. Yeah. Like Levy said, yeah. Bring back the exciting football. But not saying
we're going to do that, but we're going to concede a load. Listen, I've got no problem. I want to see actually at least see some football. We're going to at least play some football, but
Not back and I'll be honest, I don't 30 shots every game.
Yeah. Exactly. The one thing though I will say, Tommy, you said about what I want to see at Shakhtar. I don't care. I'll be honest, I don't care. I'll be honest, I don't. I just want to see that the manager now has his starting 11. So the starting 11 that starts against Shakhtar, I want us to treat it like a normal game of football, not a pre-season game. Does that make sense? Like a full team plays 90 minutes and 5 subs. Boom, boom, boom. None of this swapping the whole
From
team.
what I've read, we've already got something like 8 or 9 players that ain't going to be playing.
Yep, probably.
What, down to rotation? Is that a rotation? Injuries?
There's meant to be a couple of injuries, and also, just from what I've read, there's going to
be
about 10
players.
Hopefully,
they're the 9 that we're selling. Hopefully, it's 9 players that we're potentially selling. That's
fingers crossed. Yeah,
we're not selling 9 players. I think we'll be crazy if
I think we're going to need to do what Arsenal did. We're going to have to cancel a few contracts.
It will. I think we might see that on deadline day. I think
we're going to see a lot of loan deals, a hell of a lot of loan deals.
No, I think we'll see some loan.
We only can do 6 loan deals. There's no heck of that.
Yeah, the loan quote has dropped. You can only loan out 6 this season.
Yeah,
it's only 6. Yeah,
there's 6 this
season. Isn't that saying that's 6 abroad though? That's 6 abroad.
I think there'll be loopholes. There'll be optional fees you could put in there.
No.
I guarantee there'll be loopholes.
The rules are it's 6 loan deals to a non-English side. So I think it covers that you can. It doesn't cover like if we send say Roden, for example, to Cardiff, for example. Well, I'm just using that as an example.
Under 21s don't count.
Yeah, we'll chuck loads.
Yeah, and under 21s don't count either.
Yeah, we'll chuck loads of them to the Championship. Then lower Premier League.
Whatever we do, it's all.
I think the
who in the Championship would want them.
We've still got 6 slots available though. We've still got 6 slots available because we sold Winks to Leicester, so there's still 6 slots.
What do you mean?
Well, we can only loan out 6 players. We haven't loaned any players out yet. So
no. Yeah, no. But what we're saying is but for me, I don't want us to start loaning. Let's just start getting rid of. I think what you might see nearer to the end of the window is you might see a lot of mutual consents happening. Is my theory. You might start seeing. What we're going to do? We're going to mutually. We're going to mutually terminate, say, Sanchez's contract so we can go to Galatasaray on a free. Just pick an example. We might start seeing more of that because in that theory, that way we don't pay any compensation.
Oh, I know.
That way it's not.
We do that with
Perchy, that's my biggest fear. In that theory, right? Nobody wants Tanganga. Nobody wants Dyer. Nobody wants all these other players you can't get rid of.
No one wants them on the wages they're at. So theory is so they won't pay a transfer fee. So if you mutually terminate it, they can deal with that. They'll sign them on a free. That's the theory. That's the theory in it all. But the point, what I mean,
it's what Arsenal had to do, wasn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Arsenal did it with the likes of Aubameyang when they went to Barcelona. They terminated his contract. They mutually terminated. Ozil was another example as well. But I'll be honest. The theory about Eric Dyer, I'll be honest, he's not going anywhere. Do you know what? You're more likely Eric Dyer being our new captain than Eric Dyer leaving the club.
Yeah,
he'll be more likely to be captain than him leaving the club. And however much we hate that, by the way, that is more theoretically going to happen. I don't want it to happen, by the way, but he's more likely to be our captain next season than he is to be leaving the club. What I don't want it, because for me, I just don't want is that man. I haven't got a problem. Do you know what? I'll say it now. I'm not even massively bothered by Eric Dyer because he'll go on a free next season. What I want to see is signing defenders. I don't care. I don't want him starting games. Is my point. I haven't got a problem in being there as long as he's not starting games.
He will start games. He will start games because.
Well, I don't think he will. He hasn't. He didn't play much in pre-season though, did he? He didn't play much, but he didn't play much in pre-season. He played Tanganga more, didn't he? And he played Sanchez more. We don't
need that in the dressing room. He will find a way to get into the team, one way or another.
I always look at pre-season as a very much a ballpark on who's in the manager's like thought process. That's why things like Ben Davies is more likely to play at centre half than Eric Dyer. That's my theory. He played Davies more there. I'm not saying that he should be, by the way. Because I look at pre-season as well, that's normally a telltale sign what the manager wants to do. Normally, doesn't he?
Yeah, I mean, Dyer's not going anywhere. But if we're on the subject of ripping up contracts, then Dyer would be one of the first I would get rid of. And it would be cheap because his contract comes to an end next season.
Just so you know, you can't. So the rule is you can't rip up a player's contract unless both clubs agree to the contract being torn. So when Doherty went to Atletico Madrid, the only reason we could tear up the contract is because Atletico agreed for us to also tear it up.
And the player, of course, as well. And the player as well. And
the other way it works, though.
Yeah, the player.
On a mutual, you're right. But if you want to cut up his contract, as long as you pay his wages off, he hasn't got a bloody say in the matter.
That's a different. That's
the other way. You can buy out the contract.
You can buy out the contract. Yeah,
that's the other way we might have to do it.
That's certainly what we've had to do with Aurier and Dele Alli and.
Mate, if we're not prepared to buy players, we're not going to buy Dele Alli.
Aurier and Doherty, we definitely wouldn't.
Leave.
I know.
Leave. You ain't buying out no one's contract.
Yeah, I don't think he will.
He won't even pay £2 million for the Ashley boy.
Yeah. It's chaos, but it's what we need to do, but we just won't bloody do it.
Do you know what?
I'm telling you now, boys. I'm telling you now, Dyer will have at least 10 games. By Christmas, he'll have at least 10, 11 starts.
God help us.
Guarantee. I guarantee it.
Right. Not help us. Don't help Ange. The truth, right?
Tommy, done a little wager on that. I'll take the wager that he does up to January or the 1st of January. He plays 10 games.
10 games. Let's say 10 starts.
Keep it civil on a pint of beer over Christmas.
Because I'll tell you what now, we're going to get Van der Ven in, who's very inexperienced, and Langley, and Dyer got Langley last season anyway.
I'm excited. I'd be excited with Van der Ven.
I'm not convinced by Van der Ven. I've watched him play.
He's the one I like.
Young name. It's just another.
I think he'll be all right, but him and Romero won't work together.
Yes, Stan, I agree with that. He can't play along with Romero. I agree with that.
No.
You know, every fan got excited because they saw this recovery run he made there. Oh, look at that. Go watch his recovery runs when it's not in a straight line, when he's got to actually change direction. He's all over the place.
He's not good in the air either. For a tall centre back, he's not.
That's why I said it.
The only thing I like about him is he's got a decent left foot though. He has got.
That's what I've seen a lot.
I'll give him that.
To me,
you've got to bounce. You've got to bounce.
Yeah.
We're coming to the end of the show now anyway. Coming right to the end.
I'll wait to the end. I'll wait to the end. It's all right.
Right. Okay. Anybody got anything else to say on Shakhtar? Because we're going to get to Muppet of the Week, the most exciting part of the show. Shakhtar, as I said, look, finally, I mean, it should be a comfortable win. I know, look, results don't matter a great deal. Fitness.
Okay. The Shakhtar game, right? I can tell you, right?
Fitness matters, but the realization
Tommy, it's not going to be. Tommy, it's not going to be comfortable because you know why? Because I'm going to do a review show on some clubs tomorrow, right? I think we are the only club in the whole of Premier League, right? That's only played 2 friendly games. One,
our preseason is a disgrace. I agree.
Right, one with West Ham, another with a pub team, And tomorrow we're playing Shakhtar Donetsk. Shakhtar Donetsk already played 4 games,
On
right?
Sunday, not tomorrow. Sunday.
Sorry, on Sunday, right?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, on Sunday, right? And I tell you, we're gonna lose. Simple as that.
You see how badly they're getting smashed up, Shakhtar. They are getting
Now
smashed up.
we'll beat them. I'll say it with chest. We'll beat them, but it'll be one of those. I don't think we're gonna lose. We won't lose them. But the thing is the point is that we've got 2 games in 72 hours. One of them I'm going to.
Hopefully.
And obviously I don't go to the stadium, so we know which one I'm going to.
Yeah,
Right, I see.
Yeah.
You'll be.
But guys, imagine we are the only Premier League club, right? That's just had 2 friendly games.
Look, but Eugene.
Well, Arsenal beat Barcelona 5-3.
And we've flown half around the world to do that.
But Eugene, do you know what? You're spot on there. But this is why I say, like, I don't care about results of pre-season, but I care. Look at all the other teams. They're playing each other. Look at the likes of Aston Villa and Brentford.
Games.
They're playing teams of their capabilities in the sense. Brighton are going to play Brentford. Villa are playing Brentford. Villa are playing Brighton.
Playing Barcelona.
Arsenal going to play Barcelona. Arsenal playing this, that, and the other. And look at everyone else are playing games. What we done? We played a West Ham team. But do you know what they all do? They all stay in one area. They have base camping somewhere in America. We've gone to Australia, Thailand, Singapore, and then pissed off back home. It is
Purely
shambles.
And then we fly off to Spain on Monday morning.
We go to Thailand in monsoon season, and the game gets postponed. So,
but luckily, it won't be monsoon season here. It is sunbathe at the beach club weather at the moment.
Arsenal beat Barcelona 5-3 with Barcelona's first team, so we should bang a couple. We should bang a few. Don't
bet on it.
No, I'm not trusting our defense against Barcelona's first team. But we'll see. We'll see. I'm sure. But look, results aren't important. Fitness is the key. But we haven't had that. We've got no players played over 90 minutes in 3 pre-season games.
But two games. We've only played 2 games.
Well, yeah, exactly. Well, we were supposed to play a third, but we arranged a fixture during monsoon season in Thailand. So
amazing.
Yeah,
hilarious.
So,
in Singapore
some of the players could have got 270 minutes. They're not going to get 270, maybe 200 minutes at this point, but it's 90 minutes max. So we need players to get ready. We need 60 minutes in some of the players' legs at least in the next Shakhtar.
I'll be honest. The Shakhtar game, we've got to treat it like a normal game of football, and then do exactly the same. In essence, have 2 11s. One plays one game, one plays the other over 2 days. You can't. It'd be crazy not to do that. Like the season starts in 13 days.
Yeah.
Right. It's time. It's time for Muppet of the Week, the final segment of these N17 Effect shows. Before we get into this, get in the comments. Tell me who your Muppet of the Week is. Is it one of these I've put up or one of your own? I'm going to do the same with the guests as we always do. Please, we've got 60 people watching. Make sure you smash a like if you haven't already done so. Really, really does make a difference. As I said at the start of the stream, everyone here is going to get plugged, and you need to go over to subscribe to those channels. But we're gonna pick up on Muppet of the Week first. So I'll start with you, Stel, because I know you're in a bit of a rush. So Daniel Levy, regular on this segment. Yeah, he's been on every Muppet of the Week since the inaugural stream. Another week of no signings, no sales. That's reason alone, I think. Bayern Munich, a lot of Spurs fans would have them down as Muppets, getting funny with Bayern Munich, hurting Levy's feelings, because they're negotiating a better deal for themselves. Are they the Muppets? Because Levy's never done that, has he?
Right.
Postecoglou getting to the stage where he's looking stupid for taking the job, some people are saying. Some people are saying he knew what he was getting into. Stel, any of these is your Muppets of the Week, or have you got one of your own?
He's not a Muppet. Okay, so I'm not going to do Muppet of the Week. I'm going to do Error of the Week. Error of the Week. And I'm going to give it to Sean Butler. It's not an attack. Before everyone goes nuts. For saying today, fans who want luxury and luxury seats should pay a little bit extra for their tickets. I cannot get on board with a comment like that. It's not a Muppet. Nothing bad. I want to debate him on it. I'd love to debate that topic.
No, sorry, that's Muppet, mate. This is the Muppet segment, so Sean's got to vote. Sean's the first Muppet of the week this week.
No, he's not a Muppet. No.
Oh, this is Muppet of the week still. You can't throw his name out there in Muppet of the week and say you're not a Muppet. Right.
No. I said it first. No. Because listen, I haven't got a Muppet of the week, but I've heard a lot of comments the last couple of days, and that's one that I thought there's no way a lower middle class or poor person would ever make a comment like that. And that's why I say it, because Sean is pretty successful for what he does. Fair play to him. You know, you get what your reward is what you put into life. But a comment like that for me, I'm like, Sean, man. But you know what? Sean does like to mix it up a bit and get a bit of controversy. So I get where he's coming from, but I think that's an error. So I'm going to error of the week. But not Muppet. I can't do Muppet. He's not a Muppet.
So 1-0 Sean Muppet of the week. Dan?
No, he's not. No, you can't change it.
Don't start that one, Tommy.
Dan. Right, Dan, who's your Muppet of the week, my friend? Any of these? Or you got one of your own?
One of my own. Tottenham Hotspur.
Just the entity of it, I respect it.
Just
The
Tottenham
entire
Hotspur.
club, yeah.
Slash
The
Daniel
entire
Levy.
club, yeah. I should have gone with
Tottenham
that.
Hotspur, the
Should've gone with
football club itself. Muppet of the century.
Always.
Right, Perchy.
Where am I going to go with this one? This is a good one. Muppet of the week.
Kermit.
Yeah, probably. Listen, it's a hard one. There's a few absolute corkers out there. You could argue.
There's a lot of candidates this week. That is for sure.
You could argue Harry Kane for not trying to run away from this football club quickly. You could argue Daniel Levy for his booking a dinner service with Bayern Munich. I can't put Bayern Munich in there. Listen, they're just trying to do what we do to every single other football club. I'm not going to put Ange in there. I feel sorry for the bloke. Poor lad. Poor bloke must be pulling his hair out. Gone. Daniel Levy, just for being one of the worst chairmen in football in this league. I think it can't. Listen, I think if you could argue, you could say he's Muppet for this year, Muppet for the century. I could argue anyone that buys anything from the Spurs shop as Muppets of the week. Stop buying crap from this. Sorry, I don't want to demonetize already, but it probably has already got to that stage. Stop buying crap from this football club, please, people. If it's the only thing you listen to me, I beg. Stop giving these people, these vultures, your money. Can I put anyone that buys anything from the Spurs shop as Muppets?
No, this is not working out. This is not working out. This Muppet of the week. So we got Stel it's not Sean. That's his Muppet of the week.
No, it's not. Right, right. Okay, I'm going to redo mine. I'm redoing mine. I'm going with Dan. Tottenham Hotspur are the Muppets.
That's a fair. I could even join in with that, and yeah, just the entity of Tottenham.
Okay, Tottenham Hotspur. It's not a person, but okay. Eugene,
you put Bayern Munich in it. To be fair.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. I suppose.
My Muppet of the week is Joe Lewis.
Oh, that's a great shout, actually. That's a great.
I think that was the week before. I think that was the week before, but hey, that's all right.
Right, Joe Lewis.
He's just an absolute.
You're a bloody billionaire, right? And you have to do insider trading for favors for your pilots, your friends, and your lovers. Why can't you just fucking give them cash?
Hey, listen. I'm going to change it. I don't think Joe Lewis can be considered Muppet of the Week. Have you seen that woman?
No, it doesn't mean about a woman.
Just saying. Listen, she's probably.
It doesn't matter that woman, right? You are a Muppet of the Week for putting yourself. Perchy, you're a Muppet of the Week for putting yourself in that position, right? For insider trading, which is now brought up by the federal government of the USA, right? You could have done the insider trading in Malaysia, and nobody would have fucking cared.
Eugene, have you just sort of uncovered something about yourself there? You can do whatever you want in there. I'm playing.
No,
don't hold me liable.
Right. You could do it anywhere in the world, this insider trading shit, right? But why in America? Muppet.
FBI will have your ass in America no matter what, mate.
Oh, they're not. They do not care. And when people say they won't put him in jail, trust me, they will put anyone in jail. They will make an example out of him, hopefully.
They've done it before. to billionaires.
Yeah.
Someone just say, "Is she sexy?" Just type in Joe Lewis girlfriend on Google. That's all I'm gonna say.
As soon as I'm
But
done
not-
here, I'm
not-
going to check that
not
out.
much- not
Wait,
much
you
on the
haven't seen
top,
Tommy?
yeah.
Wow.
I ain't seen him, man.
You never
I'm
seen
not
him?
interested in that shit.
Yeah, he went to Vietnam with her on a holiday or something. Right? There's some pictures out there. Yeah. Yeah, why didn't he do it in Vietnam? My God.
Joe Lewis. Right.
I love how Eugene's giving Joe Lewis advice on when to do insider trading. Now, I did not. I'll be honest. Of all the things this stream was going to be, I did not expect that one coming out.
Eugene is
Right, I think that's a good place to. I think it's a good place to wrap things up. I think that's a good place to wrap things up, ladies and
Oh, my
gents.
cheeks are killing me.
Thank you for watching. It's been an emotional one. Like, sub, bell as usual. There's many that haven't. Watching today. I know from other people's streams as well. The people that watch don't always sub, so please make sure you do. It's free, of course. And this is a perfect time to get everyone plugged. Dan, no YouTube channel of your own, but I'm hearing there could be something on the cards. Just tell us where we can get you.
Give it about 3 to 5 weeks, and that going to keep bouncing off a few shows and that whilst building my page in the process, basically. And it'll be Life's a Pitch at Spurs.
Life's a pitch.
Or should I just call it Spurs Play with a Limp? Where we've all been shafted so many times by Daniel Levy that we might as well stand there looking like John Wayne and then limp off.
Mate, Life's a pitch. That's quality.
Life's a pitch. I like that one. That's a good one.
Yeah, that's decent.
Yeah.
Stel, what are you up to, my friend?
Going live every day or every other
Apart from
day.
looking severely depressed today.
Dude, do you know what it is? I'm just drained, man, because like this whole club is I'm very calm with everyone.
There's a phrase for it. Sorry, there's a phrase. Fubard. Do you know what that means?
I remember the word. I do. I've forgotten the meaning though. Fubard.
Effed up beyond all recognition. It's an old saying.
That's it. Yeah.
Fubard.
Yeah, it's
It
just.
was out of Full Metal Jacket.
That's it.
That is
Full
what we
Metal
are.
Jacket.
Fubard.
Do you know what it is? Because I love football so much. I do it. I'm coaching. I'm developing players. I'm trying to get into pro clubs. I get to go to pro club academies and I do YouTube football. I've got a season ticket. When football is quite a bit, takes a lot of your time and you actually enjoy it, and it's just awful and it's out of your control, it's a killer. It's just killed me, man. Like, listen, I've backed Conte, I've backed Jose, I've backed AVB, I've backed Poch, I've backed players that I didn't even like. I back the pro. I back so much, and it always ends up as a disaster. It's just I'm at that point now. I'm at that point where I don't like. You know, when people say I don't care anymore, but actually they do. I genuinely don't care. Like, I think Perchy said it. If we get relegated, I'm not actually bothered anymore. I feel like that as well. I've been like that for so long now. People say to me, "Oh, I can't do it. Why not?" It can't be any worse, can it? At least we might actually win some games we might win a trophy if we get relegated. We might win the league, or it'll probably be the playoff title. Tottenham away. I'm on there. If you want opinions and to have a good chat about them, you got Will Stewart. Does his American, his statistics, does good stats shows. You've got Iggy, does his morning shows. Mari he's got a show on Thursday with Arsenal fans, he does each week. And then you've got JP does some night videos once in a while. So come along, you're all welcome to jump on. And that's it, Tottenham way. Big up. And everyone make sure we get Tommy to 3,000 ASAP.
Appreciate it. Eugene, Spurs U Asian TV.
For me, it's that I don't know. I haven't been doing much shows lately. Just the transfer window and all that. Like you guys said, right? I've been in this position so many times until I've just it doesn't affect me anymore about the rumors of who's coming in, who's coming out. I'm very zen about all these type of things, right? So if it happens, it happens. It doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. But one thing is that I'm just a bit bored with the Kane story, right? I mean, the drama that's going on. Will he stay? Will he go? Will he stay? Will he go? It's just getting a bit meh, right? So I've decided to come back and do a few more shows now. So most probably I'm doing a show tomorrow. Not most probably. I'm doing a show tomorrow at 3 p.m. UK time, right? Be doing the preseason review, right? And nowadays I rather do shows with fans from other clubs, and because if I come on, if I do shows on Spurs, it'll be more or less a leave out show. So yeah,
And it's
so
good to
invite
get,
so many,
get out of that Spurs headspace now and again.
yeah, and do
It's
with other fans.
Even
Talk about
having a
other
gooner
clubs.
on Friday was sort of refreshing. Having TJ on Friday was refreshing.
Yeah, I've started to do shows, planning shows for preseason and then transfer shows, and these will be most probably with all fans from other clubs, right? And then I'm starting something, North London Rivals. That will be with Arsenal fans. Then I'll do something with the London Rivals Club show. That we bring in all the London rival clubs inside, and we'll do a few shows on that. And then most probably I'll do the Big 8 show now, right? Not Big 6 anymore, Big 8, because we have dropped down to 8, so we have to cover Aston Villa and Brighton. So it is what it is.
I've heard a few people have got that in the pipe. The pipe works to top 8 because we're clearly not top 6.
Why do top 8? Just do the mid-table show.
Yeah.
Mid-table, I will go lower down right
Just
now.
do London Live. Just do fucking London Live because we just it's not working, is it?
Mid-table madness.
No, 8 to 14, right? Pick 6 from there. 8 to 14. Yeah, maybe you could do that too. Yeah.
You need to find some Chelsea fans.
The middle six. The middle six.
Show, yeah.
Right, Perchy.
Guys, don't forget. Yeah. Don't forget, subscribe to Tommy's, Stel, Perchy, right? And don't forget, it's the Spurs Vision TV, right? On YouTube.
Perchy TV. Will we ever find out your first name, or is Perchy your first name?
No, people know my first name, and when people find out what my first name is and they say it to me, it freaks me out.
Keep it under wraps. Keep it under wraps.
I don't know people do, the people that know that they just find out my first name and then they say it and it terrifies me. I've been called Perchy since I was a kid because long story and stuff. But yeah, what's happening on mine? Yeah, at the moment the daily stream's up until the start of the season. So we're doing the 12 o'clock shows every single day. The weekends we do them a little bit earlier. So trying to do all that to the end of the season. Lots to come, actually. I'm planning stuff in the background for the start of the season. I want to get a weekly podcast going. So I'm just trying to find out who to get involved with that. I want to get some more stuff with other channels, like from outside the Spurs community, to try and get some sort of similar to what Eugene's saying, just sort of get out of the Spurs bubble for a second and just sort of get a few different opinions and try and push the channel up to 1,400. We're so close to 1,500 now, about 70 or so odd, 72 or something off there. And then the aim is just to
couldn't even more
push on. Obviously did talking of 24-hour streams, did my 24-hour stream a couple
of weeks ago. I was going to mention that in that latest post.
Raised we raised $3,000. But plus, I also said all the revenue that I got from YouTube over it, which was about, I can do it now, actually. I'll tell you that. I can give you an actual figure.
C word's a bit of a curse word, Perchy. C word's a bit of a curse word these days, the charity stream word. You know, what happened to Bob? But what happened to Bob?
No, listen, all my stuff went through just giving. It doesn't touch me.
No, 100%. I think everybody would believe that.
Can I show you something? Do you know what this is?
Oh gosh, I don't know. Well, Romano, what's he done?
This is Fabrizio Romano tweeting almost 70 days ago, so just over 2 months ago. I'm going to read the tweet. Tottenham will decide on the new director of football in the next few days. Then it will be time to advance talks for the head coach. 3 of the candidates on the list, one being Tim Staden. 70 days ago. Director of football.
2 months ago. Wow. Well, over 2 months ago. You couldn't make it up.
That's a wonderful place to leave things. What I will say is next show here will be Friday, 1 p.m, 1:50. I've been doing a lot of solo stuff, talking about transfers. It's going to be difficult. It's very difficult to talk about transfers, the way things are going. More in hope than anything else. Blind faith, my transfer streams at the moment, so you could say. So, about 1:15 on lunch times. And Eugene's going to be, I think Eugene's agreed to come on Friday. We do Planet Spurs. We get quite a few international fans on. We might have somebody else hosting that because I'm not going to be here. I'm moving. Next 3 Fridays, I'm not going to be here. Holiday, moving, it's all happening. So, make sure you subscribe to this channel. Make sure you subscribe to everyone else. Big up, everyone. Stay safe, stay free, stay classy. Lily Whites, much love.
See you later.
Peace out. Peace out.
And as always, leave you out.